it is, I'm under the impression that everyone is dealing with some sort of mental disorder, some sort of mental chaos. Things are not all in a equanimous state in their mind. And some people are diagnosed with many different mental disorders. Many of them stem from anxiety and depression. And what I've noticed, many people come to me, I don't know why it is, but people come to me to talk about things, to get things off their chest. So apparently a therapist of some sort. And I found a commonality. And the common question I ask people now is, when was the last time you created something? And usually the depression has set in right at the moment where they stop taking on or working on whatever project it is. If we look at grandma, for example, you see grandma's happy. Every time you come over, grandma's knitting a quilt or something like that. And you're like, why is grandma living to 100 years old? Well, she's practicing her God faculty. If we were to try to succinctly describe what God is, maybe we can say God is a creator. And if ye are gods, as the Bible states, and we are many versions of God and his creations, then we are meant to create. So any human being that is not creating is not living up to their God potential. And that is going to create some sort of mental disorder in your mind. And you're not going to know why. But it's because you are not creating. We need to have these projects. We need to have something that we're working on, something that we love, something that we're passionate about, and do that daily. It has to happen daily. And like I said, the commonality I saw with people were they got away from that. Some people are artists, et cetera, et cetera. And I asked them, when was the last time you made some art? They're like, oh, it's been 2 weeks. Oh, there you go.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan.
We got a lot to cover today before we get Owen Shroyer on. The Grift Report starts right now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
And
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Good afternoon, Hoteps. Welcome to the Grift Report, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep to the chat. Hotep to the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
What up, y'all? Shout out to Def Jules with the 1999 Super. Appreciate you.
Hotep.
Much love. Goldstein in the chat. What up, yo? Haram Life, Steph Colonel. Oh, yeah, it's up. It's up today. What are we talking about today? We got a bunch of things. It's a mixed bag. It's one of those mixed bag days. We got a lot to cover. Hit the like button. Let's get on the front page of Rumble. Hit the like button. Let's get on the front page of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Damn, Rumble got some funny ass ads going on here. What is these ads? These ads. All right. Timeline is a mess. My Twitter's a mess. How many people did I block today? I don't know. I feel like I blocked over at least 100 people today. Gotta go. I blocked the porn star today. That felt good. She came in my mentions trying to talk shit. Block. Ain't nobody got time for that. You want to be one of these. You want to act like a Fed. I got to get you the fuck up out of here. You want to go along with the intelligence agency script. We got an election happening this year. Y'all trying to elect Trump, and y'all worried about black people. Y'all need to be focused on your election to take back control of the Democrats. Do you want to have to worry about this shit?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Keep your eye on the prize, you unfocused motherfuckers. Damn. Shit. These motherfuckers is mad unfocused. Worried about all the wrong shit. You better focus on that damn election. All right, where we going? All right, let's go right here. Let's jump it off right here. We got a video from Africa. I didn't get a chance to listen to this, and I said I'll just save it for the report and see what's going on here. If it's decent, I'll let it play. If it's not, I'll exit quickly. Let's go to this. We got a report from the motherland.
The right thing to do is to reject the prescriptions of the IMF and the World Bank. Remove fuel subsidy, float your currency, and so on and so forth, which have never assisted any country to develop. There is a group of countries that are...
I had somebody come in my mentions and say something like, in regards to white people being attacked by black people in America. Their response was, you don't see this stuff happening in Africa and whatnot. And I'm like, Africa has a whole different set of problems. And he's talking about the main culprit right here.
A lot of countries in the world today insisting that we are not going to be tied to the American dollars. We want to trade among ourselves in our currencies. And those countries are in BRICS. Others are joining them. Saudi Arabia has joined them, UAE, Ethiopia, Egypt, and others. And Nigeria is not there. We cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. If
it said we can't be more Catholic than the Pope. Damn.
Friends of the West are joining BRICS. Why are we not there? So that we can trade. Countries, Nigeria and other countries can trade in their currency. We trade in Naira. The second one, in 2018, Nigeria and China enter into a currency swap agreement for 5 years. And I've asked the government, go back to China and say, please, whereas when we signed that swap agreement in 2018, the volume of trade was in the area of $3 billion or thereabout. Last year, we imported goods worth $22 billion from China, even though we only exported goods of about $1.6 billion. Now, we should tell the Chinese, please, we need to increase, because that agreement will expire in July. We need to renew the agreement. We need to renegotiate the agreement. I will sell Nigeria gas and crude oil in Naira.
Nigeria gas and oil in the Naira. He better get low. They going to send the hitman to get him. He's right, though. You're talking about, what do you say, a Nigerian-Chinese swap agreement? What does it say here? Let's pull this up. Take a look at some international trade news here. CBN replies, Falana says Nigeria's currency swap deal with China still valid. So it was renewed after it expired in 2021. I'm I wonder what the before and after of this was. According to the bank, out of the 6 billion yuan utilized, the sum of 5.10 billion yuan had been repaid, while 2.10 billion yuan has not been utilized. The swap commenced in July 2018. Sum of 15 billion Chinese monies. Overdraft amount usable within the year. I wonder if this was a good or bad for Nigeria. Anyway, I'll do some research on that when I get around to it. Let's go back. So interesting developments, but he's right, man. You know, we talk about Westernism. We talked about that yesterday or the day before, and then the other side of it, the other side
the right thing to do.
The other side of the coin is BRICS. That's the other side of the coin. No pun intended. I was listening to the House Financial Services Committee this morning, and just terrible. Just absolutely fucking terrible, bro. Absolutely terrible. Let's pull this up. Let's drop some good news here. Let's drop some good news on the feed. Let's talk about this. This is interesting. This is a very interesting story, in fact. Let's pull this up. You know what I mean? They'll talk about all the black on black crime and white crime, and let's talk about this.
Well, if a satellite in outer space can tell whether a dime on the ground is face up or face down, and if a cell phone can call anywhere on the planet and target one cell phone, even in a room full of people, why can't we treat cancer at the site of the tumor without it impacting the whole person and somebody's hair falling out? Unless you got cancer in your head, it didn't make sense to me why your hair would have to fall out. There has to be a better way. So I dedicated my life to using the technology of satellites and cell phones to treat cancer. I developed a new type of what's called a nanoparticle, which is a really, really tiny particle that's harmless until you shine a laser light on it. And then it heats up because of it vibrating really fast, and it kills whatever it's touching. So the laser that I'm using is low power, like a laser pointer, but it's a small beam. And because it's localized, we can target it at just the site of the tumor. And we showed complete elimination of tumors in laboratory mice after one treatment over the course of 15 days with no side effects, no chemo, no surgery, no radiation.
Wow.
Using technology.
Wow.
Eva, do you hear this?
I'm like, wow.
This is what happens when you couple black girl magic with STEM.
Uh-oh. Somebody, I stole this, by the way. I still got to use this. It should say black folks business, and he putting his face in it. This is absolutely
well, if a satellite in outer space can tell whether
phenomenal work, and it makes sense, right? Like you get the particles go out throughout the body, and of course they'll land in the space of the tumor, and then they heat up when you activate them with the laser. Fucking genius, man. Fucking genius. I would love to know more. Anybody got her name? Any updates on the advancement of this technology? Is this video old? Okay, here we go. Here she is. Aura Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation. Interesting. And what did they say her name was? Dr. Hadia Green. Let's take a look. All right, here she go. Medical physicist. Okay, orally.org. Here's her website. and you can donate, etc., etc. Like they got some clinical trials going. Where are we now? Okay. We're currently in a fundraising phase. After we reach our fundraising goal of 10 million, we are prepared to start human trials in 12 months. We are working passionately and diligently. Interesting. I wonder how much she's raised so far. She probably doesn't want to show because it's so low. Or there's another reason why she doesn't want to show. Or maybe we just can't. Hold on, let's see. Maybe I'm just retarded. I'm gonna throw down something on this. I'm gonna throw down something on this. I'm gonna throw down something on this right now. I'm gonna throw down right now. You know what I'm saying? At Hotep Jesus. So she know this came from the Hoteps. You know what I'm saying? At Hotep Jesus. I'll cover the processing fee. How much? We're gonna give her $100. I'm throwing down $100 on the cancer research. All right, let's hit the donate now button. Oh, I gotta fill in my personal information. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, motherfuckers. Hotep Jesus. Okay. Gotta put my birth date in here. What year? Okay, can I type? I hate when they do this shit. Okay. Okay, let's put that in. All right, and then let's hit donate now. It's gonna take me to PayPal. Wait, form not validated. What did I do wrong? Okay, here we go. I didn't select PayPal. I'm not a robot. Hit donate now. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm on the next stage now. Let's go here. Boom, boom. Let's do code sent to my phone. Let's see. Where's the code? All right, here we go. Boom, boom. Let's see. All right. Why did it do that? Oh, wait. No. No. Go back. It's fucking logging me into Hotep Nation. I don't want to use the Hotep Nation account. I want to use my account. See? They be playing games. They try to stop me from donating to the black woman. I'm not going to let them stop me. I'm not going to let them stop me. All right. Let's try this again. Let's put that in. We're going to select PayPal. I'm not a robot. Let's put my ad in there. I want my credit. They got to know this shit came from the Hoteps. Go right there, get in your wallet. And now it's giving me an error. I'll do it later. Fuck it. Look at this shit, man. PayPal did some weird shit where it took me to my other account. It's okay. I'm gonna bookmark this. We gonna make sure y'all show some love. I'm gonna put the link in the chat too. Hold on. Right here. Orally.org. Real simple too. Make sure y'all show some love. I would love an update. Anybody got an update on this? Anybody in the chat? Got to give her an invite to appear in the Grift Report? Word. You seen her on Karen Hunter like 5 years ago? They were struggling to raise 10 mil. Damn. Is it that been that long? Terrible. Terrible. Why does decade-old research need a new black face? All right, here we go. We got our first block of the day. Put user in timeout. He worried about all the wrong shit. Worried about all the wrong shit. Go home, Roger. Dr. Hadia Green, thank you. All right, let's go to the next story. I just wanted to share that to you. I never seen that. I never saw that story. It looked old, though. It looked old. It looked like this is an older interview. But this is dope. I'm going to save that. Let's go. All right, let's cover this really fast. Remember I told y'all about Eminem, and I said where he got his style from? The original Eminem. And I said it was Master Ace. We got somebody who posted this and said you can actually hear where Eminem got his original style from. Let's listen.
Master Ace, King Tech, check it out, y'all. Yeah. I'ma say it now, I don't like none of you dudes. When I watch BET, I make fun of you dudes. Cause I'm just not convinced, y'all not intense. Your first single was cool, you ain't been hot since. And y'all's A&Rs need training bras. Wanna sit around talking about J and Nas. You another punk at the bar, getting stuff in the trunk of the car. And like Shaq trying to dunk on Jabbar. You won't ever see it. What I am, you'll never be it. You won't ever achieve it, and you better believe it. If you got beef with me, it's better to leave it. See, it's not worth pursuing, cause I hurt and ruined. And I don't understand what you jerks are doing. See, I got some big balls and they're extra hairy. And you going down like you're standing next to Mary. See, I only with cash and checks are scary. And you ain't no CEO, you a secretary. And nigga hold my calls while I hold my balls. And try to get some more plaques up on my walls. See, I love rap music, but I hate the cats in it. In a minute, I'm about to be running for rap senate. And y'all niggas better elect me. You rappers ain't gotta like me, kid, but y'all better respect me. Respect me. Respect me.
That's one of Eminem's early influences. If you are familiar with early M, you know that. You know that. Yeah, the volume's kind of low on that. I'm sorry. But it's low on their end, so it is what it is. You know, just a little history, little hip hop history. You know. Where should I go next? All right, let's cover this really fast. This was posted by Chief Nerd. Chief Nerd said, people have said, this is from The Verge, people have said that the headset, this is talking about the Apple headsets, people have said the headset gives them headaches and triggers motion sickness. The weight of the device and the fact that most of it is front-loaded has been another complaint. I thought about that. I was like, isn't there a lot of weight in the front, like coming down on your face? I thought about that. So I guess it's true. You know, I assumed that Apple thought that through and it was just a lightweight device. That's why I sort of dismissed it. I was like, maybe it's, a lightweight device. So I guess not. Parker Ortolani, The Verge's product manager, told me that he thought using the device led to a burst blood vessel in his eye. At least one other person noted they had a similar experience with redness. And you see here in the screenshot of the Verge article, Apple fans are starting to return their Vision Pros. Comfort, headache, and eye strain are among the top reasons people say they're returning their Vision Pro headsets. I mean, I'm not surprised. I figured you was going to get, some sort of repercussions from using this dumbass device. I didn't expect it. I didn't think about this. I was concerned with people getting trapped in the motherfucker and never coming back. But eye strain makes sense. Headaches. And I'm sure people are keeping these devices on longer than you're probably supposed to. At some point, these devices are going to be like right inside the glasses. Like they're going to put on glasses and they're going to be right inside these glasses. And it won't be the same. And that's when shit's going to get super scary. Zuckerberg has a video out where he's talking about his shit is better and lighter and cooler or some shit like that. He can go fuck himself too. I ain't touching that shit. I ain't touching none of these devices. I suggest y'all not touch them either. They're bad for your health. They're bad for your overall health. And don't let your kids use devices either. what are we going to talk about next? I want to couple some of these stories together. All right, so we got to put this one together with this one. Let's close that for now. All right, so 1, 2. And I think there's another one in here. No, we'll cover this one after. It's in the same genre, but not directly related. Let's go to the tape. Now, actually, let's go to this one first. I want to play this one first. So here we have a video. It says, this man proposed to her from jail. I'm about to find me a prisoner, says K&D. Let's take a look.
One day, you're going to meet someone who appreciates you for who you are. I mean, there's 7 billion people on the planet. I know one of them is going to climb up on a moon for you. One day.
Okay, so the other day, we had an argument about dating and getting women and how much income matters. And Strong Dad and Goldstein called in and they said how they were able to get good women despite being broke and ex-cons. So here we are with evidence that shows ex-cons are attached to these women. Let's take a look.
You couldn't even visit me in prison until you sent me at least $2,500. Like, that was like the hurdle. Like, if you thought, like, you got to pay IUA. You got to pay IUA.
$2,500
me until $2,500 was clear.
A nigga in prison.
Yes. Because this is the thing. This is what you're paying for.
I thought I heard it all.
You want me? I give it to you up here. Yeah, we got time to fucking day. So first and foremost, it was $2,500 just for them to even be able to see me in person. That's gonna cost you. Because I know for a fact, because I knew for a fact that I was providing things that they were not getting. See, what you have to understand about the world and why I was able to navigate it like that, first of all, I look away. Second of all, I'm intelligent. Third, my conversation is fucking world spending, right? And on top of that, I can give you something that they're not going to give you out in the world. I can really give you time and attention. So first of all, you got to pay me to listen to your problems.
Paying for the experience.
You have to pay me to act like I'm concerned. And that's what I am. And then when you come see me, you know, I come hug you, my body. You couldn't even.
Wow. Black women love dating pookies, says Black Men Sis. Says a black woman would rather pay Pookie $2,500 to visit him in prison than to go 50-50 with a man who makes $50K a year. Now, that's a very terrible generalization. So why? Why is it that these women want to date men in jail or ex-cons? Why is it? Nerd said he goes to his gym. Why is that? You know, it's the answer is quite simple. Hold on, let me try and pull up one of my theories here. Okay. All right. Let's package it like this. You have a man who goes to get a job in corporate America. Okay? You got a man who is a scammer. Okay? He does the credit card scams or whatever. You got a man who sells weed. You got a man who sells cocaine. Okay? Then you got like levels of the cocaine distribution network. Okay? The higher you go up the network of cocaine distribution and other hard drug distribution, the higher the risk. Okay? The higher the risk, the more balls you need. Or the less you have to lose. Okay? Because usually when people have a lot to lose, they don't take risks, they don't take chances. When you're somebody who has nothing to lose, you're like, well, my life is shit already. I might as well take a stab at being a drug dealer. Okay? Now that we understood, so this theory comes from me contemplating why do we have a fascination with gang movies and drug movies and violent movies and military movies. And really what it is it's an admiration of risk takers. And again, this was a bit of self-reflection. I did because I'm going back through Power. I'm on Ghost season 5, episode 6 or something like that. I'm going back through those because now we're watching the Book of Canaan, right? So it's helping me fill in some blanks and making the Book of Canaan even more enjoyable. Yo, Neek back. Oh my God, yo. You know, when Neek, brother, when Ronnie threw Neek down the hill, I had a feeling that he wasn't dead. I'm like, is it confirmed that he's dead? But I was like, maybe he's dead. You know, I thought they killed him because of the whole Diddy situation and Joey Badass's relationship to Diddy. I thought that's why they killed him off the show. Anyway, Neek back. So that's dope. Anyway, all right, so coming back. So I'm doing some self-reflection on Power. And I'm like, why do I love Power? Goodfellas. The latest movie we watched yesterday was The Beekeeper. Why do we have the fascination? What's the other one? What's the name of that movie with Mike Murphy? The Marine, where they're out in Afghanistan. Love that movie. Phenomenal movie. Why do we have the fascination with Italian mob movies? And what it is I don't want to use the word envy. I'll use the word admiration of risk takers. We're looking at men taking risks that we would not take, and we're going, that's pretty fucking cool to take that risk. And we're living vicariously through these men and sharing just a smidge of the adrenaline rush. Okay? So there is a perception that risk equals alpha. The higher the risk, the more alpha the man is, right? That's a general perception. It's not a specific perception. It's a general perception. So when you're dealing with ex-cons, what women see is supreme alpha. They don't see an ignorant fool or a drug dealer. What they see is excitement. What they see is somebody who took a risk. Now, it doesn't exactly interpret, like they're not saying, oh, I'm dating a risk taker. That's not how it's interpreted in their mind. This is all subconscious. But in their head, they equate ex-con with supreme alpha. And in a way, they're right. The most alpha of men are either in the military or in a gang. Okay? And the streets sort of could make you quote unquote alpha because of the ruggedness that it makes you, that makes the man that you become. The ruggedness of boot camp in the military, the ruggedness of being in the bush of Afghanistan, the ruggedness of the training, the terrain, etc., right? So when you've had to fight all your life, you tend to be tougher than somebody who has not, right? And that's why you get the bitch-ass white males online screaming about black men, whatever, because they haven't had to fight their whole life. Some people had to fight their whole life, and what that does is it makes you a hardened, strong alpha male. So when women see ex-con, first of all, this guy is developed and built, all right? He's got 3 hots in a cot, all right? So physically, he's bigger than the average man on the outside. The average man on the outside is overweight or malnourished, completely out of shape. Whereas the ex-con, he's in jail, he's lifting all the time. So not only does he have the mental alpha, he's also got the physical alpha. Now, some people might say, well, it's a bad financial move for the woman, whatever. But a lot of this stuff is instinctual. We tend to remove nature from ourselves, where women are actually designed by nature to seek out the alpha male and have his children. It's not based upon income. People see Western world, us suburban cats, we get caught up in alpha means breadwinner. But what happens when a broke nigga beats your ass? Your girl gonna leave you for the broke nigga. You see what I'm saying? So alpha don't mean breadwinner. That's the most minimum of things. That's why the other day we were talking about money and they were like, well, I was an ex-con. And I'm like, yo, she like you because you were ex-con, nigga. Because you a risk taker. Because you been through some shit, which makes you alpha. You spend some time in jail, you're going to be a little bit different. Now, I've never spent any time in jail, okay? I've done had some weekends, but I never exactly spent time in jail. But what I can say is those weekends have definitely changed me, okay? For example, I remember one time I was spending a weekend in there, and one of my cellmates was a Spanish cat who hardly spoke no English, and another one was this black dude, and apparently he said he was a pimp, right? And we can barely speak to the Spanish nigga, but I'm speaking to him, and vicariously through this pimp or whatever he was, I'm sort of leveling up my street smarts. It felt like that Boston George moment where Boston George goes to jail and he goes in a weed dealer and comes out a coke dealer. I remember the first time I spent the weekend in jail that really, really made me not want to go back was it was county, so they lock you down during the day. It was really hot. I got my fucking jumpsuit half off, and I'm looking out the window. I just woke up, and I'm looking out the window sweating, and it's like that you can barely see outside. So it's just like a little corner of the window that I'm looking out, and I'm trying to scratch the thing off, but I can't really scratch it off so I can get more window. And I just remember looking outside that window. These little moments shape a man, right? When you first sit down at that lunch table, I remember the first time I sat down at the lunch table in county, and I was terrified. You couldn't tell, but I was terrified. And this big dude sat next to me. Boom. Like it felt like two of the biggest niggas ever sat next to me. One here, one here. And I'm just like, head straight, let me get my meal, right? And I remember this white dude who I think he was kicking from his heroin habit. We was in the holding cell. When we was in the holding cell, people would fall asleep and he would come over by the wall and kick the wall, and wake you up and then walk away like nothing happened. And I remember I tricked his ass because I was trying to get some sleep. And he came and I sleep light. And he tried to come over to me and I opened my eyes. I said, don't do that, yo. Just don't do that. And he smiled and walked away. Now, we sit down at the lunch table. Two of the biggest niggas in this spot sit next to me. Here he come. This little white crackhead or whatever his problem was, meth head or whatever he was going through. Dope head. And was he asking for a cookie or did he grab the cookie? I can't remember what it was. And the big nigga sitting next to me was like, yo, get the fuck out of here. And I just remember in my head going, thank you. Somebody say something to this motherfucker. Yo, goddamn. Just very annoying. But being in that environment for that weekend as, incomparable to something that Rudy or Strong Dad or Goldstein has gone through. I mean, these people actually went to prison. I didn't go to prison. It was just a weekend. But even those little moments change your perception and give you a certain level of confidence that you didn't have before, right? Like as a man, it's like, you went to jail for a weekend and you come out and you kind of feel different. I can't hold it. You feel like you survived something, some ordeal. you know, and I'm a black kid from the suburbs who never expected to be sitting in a county jail. I was terrified. The sad part is, after you get arrested a few times and you spend a few weekends in jail, you start to get used to this shit. So by the time I was on my last one, which I said this is going to be the last time I'm in here, you walking around the place like you've been there before, you know, and you're talking to the other inmates like you've been there before. So this is like what I'm saying, like you start to change and fear of things starts to subside. And that's when I knew, when I got out, that's when I knew I couldn't go back, because nobody's supposed to be comfortable in jail. And I was a little bit too comfortable that weekend. I was just like, I'll be out Monday. I'm just going to wait for the judge. Still nervous on Monday when it came to judge. I was like, they better call my name. They better call my name. But anyway, coming back. When you spend a certain amount of time around other hardened criminals, it changes you, right? It gives you a different outlook of yourself, your own self-perception. Now, self-perception is now going to manifest in your attitude and your confidence. So when a woman deals with you, even though she might not know your past, she's now speaking to your confidence. And as we all know, women love confidence. So when you're an ex-con, you have a certain confidence about yourself, and that's what they're attracted to. That's why you have people who have a whole lot of money can't get girls, and it's because, well, you don't have any confidence. And sometimes that confidence is because you ain't doing enough push-ups. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing enough push-ups. Justine said, what cookie, in my Debo voice? Come on, Justine. Oh, man. The cops know me by name. You start teaching the rookie cops the ropes. Listen, it's funny you say this. I met my wife after doing a month in county. You see what I'm saying? It's not like you go to jail and you come out a thug. That's not what's happening here at all. It's just that when you're locked in a cell, like subconsciously something changes you when you're in a cage, right? You feel, and then they put the cuffs on you, and then when they fucking make you walk with the other group and you got your legs and your arms tied together and all that shit, like it does something to you when handcuffs hit your wrist for the first time. That does something to you. All these little details do something to you. I can't really get into the specifics because I don't know what's happening, but subconsciously, these little events change you. You know, it's like the first time a white boy call you nigga, you never the same. The first time a girl breaks your heart, you are never the same, right? So all these different experiences transform you. And if you don't let it break you, it'll make you. So you sit here and you wonder why women are dating these ex-cons. Well, it's because subconsciously they see alpha male. Their vagina is seeking out offspring that can survive, right? So at the nature level, it's about copulating and procreating with a male who can give you sperm that'll turn into a child that can survive. You are a survivor, which means that the lineage of your people will continue on. The human species will continue on. They don't want no weak dick motherfucker because you're going to have a weak dick son. So they want somebody who's going to be strong, somebody who can survive, and somebody who's willing to do anything to survive. This is what's happening subconsciously. You're willing to do anything to survive. So that's why they're picking. So when Strong Dad and Goldstein say, hey, you know, the reason why, you know, I got a good woman and I was ex-con, I'm like, that's a plus. That's a plus. Do you know how many women out here are dating a stand-up dude and cheat with ex-cons? They love him. They lust over him. Just the facts of the matter. You know what I mean? I don't make the rules. I just tell them. Does that make sense in the chat? Does everybody get that? I'm mad I had to break down the Hotepology of this, but it is what it is. All right, let's talk about some racial shit while we wait for Owen to get here. What's this? Let's pull that. We're gonna cover that in a little bit. We got, oh yeah, that's right. We got to get into we got another dating video. Hold on. I want to see what this lady has to say because I think she made some sense. Hold on. And another thing, like, you know, people say, oh, you know, you talking about dating. You got to talk about dating, especially now when they're pushing same-sex relations on everybody, right? You got to talk about these things when masculinity is under attack. You have to teach young men how to deal with these situations. And somebody who's experienced as I am, 40 plus, you want to hear from me. You don't want to listen to these fucking 20-year-old guys. If you want to listen for pickup artistry, all right, listen to one of the younger cats. They're going to tell you how the dating thing go. But if you want a mature take on how to carry yourself, you got to listen to an older cat. I remember I was very, very fortunate at a young age. I think I was like 22 at the time, maybe 23. No, I was probably 21. And my first real gig, I was working at the Cheesecake Factory, and a whole bunch of black dudes in suits walk in. And it was one real bocky Italian cat. An Italian cat sat at the end of the table, so I knew he was the head boss. It's a whole bunch of black dudes, and I think it was a total of 8 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And I took all of their orders and did it by heart. Now, if you know anything about black people, we not ordering off the menu. It's going to be some modifications, okay? You're going to have to take this out, add that, take this, you know what I mean? It's going to be some modifications, shrink that. So it's not exactly easy to remember. Order comes out, everything's perfect. And the boss, the second in command, Stoney, he was like, shout out to Stoney, appreciate you, gave me my first big shot. He comes to me and he like, yo, you did all that shit off the top of your head. I'm like, yeah, I just kind of got like a photographic memory. Because that's really what I did. When I went back to the computer, I closed my eyes and I was able to replay what everybody said. That's how I was able to do that. And he offered me his card. He said, I want you to come check out this mortgage business. And I didn't think nothing of it. I took the card. I got in the car. I took the card. I threw it in my glove box. And I kept working at Cheesecake Factory until one day, this dude named Mike Sachs. Mike Sachs was my old boss at Lone Star restaurant. But at Lone Star, he got fired for diddling with one of them underage girls. So he got fired for that. So when he came and he got a job as a manager at Cheesecake, he saw me and we met eyes. So what he did was, and I ain't say nothing. I was like, I was just like baffled that he even got the job. But I was like, whatever, I'm just, whatever. I'm gonna do what I do, right? And what happened was, and plus this was a new restaurant, so there was no like strikes. So you just first strike and you're out because it was so many people wanted the job. I mean, you'd come to a shift at this time and they called them sharks. And sharks would wait and say, yo, if you want to go home, I'll take your shift. So we were overstaffed. And he basically went into the system and changed my schedule, reposted another one, and I got fired for a no-call, no-show. So I was like, fuck it, some bullshit. I picked up that card. I called that mortgage company. I said, yo, I need a job. Make a long story short, this is the job that sort of molded me into a man because everybody here is 40, 50 plus. And they was just feeding me game, this, that, and the third, da-da-da-da-da. They took me to the strip club and Oh, it was wild, right? And I'm not a strip club guy. I got to tell you, I'm not a strip club guy. I remember my 16th birthday. My cousin took me to Madison Square Garden. This is the night that Jordan dropped 55. And he was going to try and scalp tickets, but he couldn't get tickets, so we ended up in the bar. So we watched the game at the bar. On the way home, he's driving through Newark, and he picks up a prostitute. I'm terrified. I'm 16 years old, fucking good little boy from the suburbs, and he's got a prostitute in the front seat. This nigga gonna turn around and ask me if I want some head from the prostitute, because it's my birthday. Nigga, no. I am terrified back here. You just picked up a hooker, bro. I ain't seen shit like this on TV. So this is shit that my cousin's fucking crazy. That nigga been in and out of jail like a motherfucker. So I don't even know where I was going with that story, but I'm at the mortgage spot, and all these older cats is just feeding me game. And that's where I really grew and matured. And I think I was a lot mature than my friends because my friends was all 40 fucking plus. They also taught me how to roll weed in papers instead of blunts because they was older heads. So they used to smoke weed out of papers instead of blunts. So they the first ones to get me stop smoking blunts. Anyway, let's go to the video. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm just telling stories and shit. Give me my whole life.
Happened in your dating experience to where you're now like,
It's a lot of pressure on black men, specifically dating black women. And I love black women. Social media and the culture has put a lot of pressure on us. This could be just based on environment. When I moved to Atlanta, women here are very entitled. And listen, I'm not blaming anybody, so I don't want this to turn into...
When you say entitled, though, what does entitled mean?
I'll say financially entitled. I feel extreme pressure. And I get hit on by white women. I get hit on by all kinds of women. But when I get hit on by black women, I immediately feel this entitlement of, I gotta pay for something.
Wow.
I gotta pay your rent. I gotta help you with your car note immediately within 2 weeks. Or I'm just saying what I've experienced. I'm not saying that's every woman. Nowadays, if I take somebody on a date,
$400
immediately, and I don't even drink. So if she drink, that's a couple hundred. If the hookah's 45, lamb chops is 50, dessert. So by the time
valet,
or valet, I was just getting ready to say valet. So we didn't spend $400 for me to see if you like me.
Say that again.
So it's like I'm spending. That's just the first date. You want to go out again. So I done spent $1,000 on 3 dates just to see if you might call me back or maybe text me back. And then because you're a beautiful woman, if you don't like me, you can go get the next man to do the same thing.
Damn, it's ugly out here. All right, so I have a blog on menoforder.com that says a first date should cost $1,000 minimum. Now, when you first hear that and you read the headline, you're pretty fucking alarmed. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Hotep Jesus? And really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to save y'all some money and still maximize the female experience. So here's my idea. Some of y'all got vacation days, right? Cool. Instead of dating abroad, what you do is you go cop you one of them all-inclusive tickets at the island and do a fly-out date. It's going to be a lot cheaper, okay? So you're going to spend $1,000 probably on your ticket, $1,000 on her ticket, but food and drinks are included. Now, not only are you going to get the yams, because ain't no bitch flying out and not giving you the yams, okay? You're going to get the yams, but you save money. Because remember, 3 dates, you ain't getting the yams. And she's probably giving the yams to somebody else after the day anyway, some ex-con somewhere. So you fly her out, y'all go to the little destination island, y'all do y'all thing. But the great part about this is you get to see if you even want to be around this bitch anymore. Because everybody knows after 24 hours, you sick of whoever you around. It don't matter if it's your mama or your kids. After 24 hours, it's like, get the fuck out my face, okay? So you get to see if you even want to be around this person after said weekend. So when you come back, you ain't got to see the bitch no more. Or you can decide to proceed from there. But you also get to see all her little idiosyncrasies. See, what happens is when you do the 3-date thing, you don't see all her little idiosyncrasies. You don't see her mood shifts throughout the day. You don't see how she talks to the wait staff. You don't see how needy and picky she is right away like you would when you're with her all damn day. You see, a bitch could put an act on for an hour, maybe even 2. But she can't put an act on all motherfucking weekend. Ain't nobody that damn good. So at some point, her representative is going to fall the fuck off. You also get to see how dusty this bitch is or how clean she is. You're also going to see how she going to take care of you, right? You sharing a hotel with the bitch. Take your pants off, throw them on the ground. See how long it takes her to pick up your pants and fold them. You know what I'm saying? You get to see shit like that. So I'm telling you right now, if you really want to be out here dating and you got a little bit of money, this is what you got to go for, okay? And the best part is you need the vacation anyway. She's just an accessory to your life at this point. You see what I'm saying? So her avatar, yes, this is her avatar we're talking about here. The problem with that is you will need to keep up the appearance of that $1,000 lifestyle. No. Because during this weekend, you get to see if this is a $1,000 a weekend lifestyle bitch or not. You can look for the little things and see, is she going to be expecting this all the time, or is she thankful and grateful? You'll see these things by how she orders her food. You got to know what to look for. You know what I mean? I could do a whole class on what to look for in abroad during a date. How does she talk to the wait staff? How many times did she ask for something from the wait staff? Those two things right there. How does she eat her food? Did she waste her food? Did she take a doggy bag? Did she order more food than she can eat just because she could? A lot of women will order more food on a date than she can eat just because it's not her money. But you'll start to see a good woman, she's only going to order what she knows she can consume. She's got good upbringing. You dig what I'm saying? Justine said, a mom, why wouldn't a woman want to pick up pants and fold them? Hey, that's what I'm saying. Some of these women is dusty. Her pants going to be on the ground too. If you wake up in the morning after getting the yams and both of y'all pants is on the ground and she don't never pick up and fold her shit and her shit messy, and then check the bathroom. You know how women leave the bathroom after they get ready? It'll tell you everything you know about a broad. These hoes is messy, man. These hoes is dusty, unorganized. What about those of us who are financially challenged? If you're financially challenged, you better leave these hoes alone. You better get your money up first. You better start investing. You know what I'm saying? All right. So yeah, I feel for this dude right here. I feel bad for him. It's sad that he got to go through this and he don't know the game. Call me up, bro. I'll talk you through this. Now, ideal first dates. Ideal first date is kicking it at her crib, not yours. Never bring a bitch to your house. You bring a bitch to your house, you're gonna have a stalker, or she's gonna have your address and send her ex-con friend to come beat you up because you broke her heart or some shit like that. Never bring a bitch to your house, okay? Always go to her shit. Plus, she's gonna end up stealing your shit. You never know what can happen, right? You just don't want her knowing where you live just in case she get angry and now she coming to key up your car. Because women are crazy. Ideal first dates don't cost much. If your first date is pricey, she ain't shit. Unless that's for you. Because sometimes men go on pricey first dates because they like pricey shit. That's like me. When I eat, I don't want to eat Olive Garden. I don't want to eat Red Lobster. If I go out to eat, I need that shit to be like, I need the chef. If I eat Italian, I need the chef to sound like he just flew in from Sicily. I need wine glasses on the table when I sit down. And not because I'm bougie, but because I don't want food poisoning.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
It's a setup at her crib. Also true. You could get set up at her crib. If you get a first date at her crib, she not the one. Also true. Also true. Haram Light said first dates, coffee, walk in the park. That's facts. If she don't want to do the, I'm telling you right now, if she don't want to do the coffee thing, you got to let her go. You got to let her go. If she want to go to Red Lobster on the first date, you got to let her go. You got to let her go. You know? Or she's just uncultured and hasn't been nowhere yet. Maybe you need to introduce her to that Sicilian chef. You know, because some women from the hood, some women think Red Lobster is fine dining. That's a big thing for them. And I feel bad. Dag said, you sound like you get taken on dates. Did I ever tell you that time I got taken on a date? All right, we got time before Owen get here. Let me just check my DMs. I'm going to tell you about that time I got taken on a date. I've told this story in the past. Maybe y'all heard it somewhere before. So this is what happened, right? This was MySpace. I was 21. 40/40 Club is popping. This when Jay-Z had 40/40 Club in NYC. And I'm on MySpace, and back then we were running bots on MySpace. So it was like bots, friend bots. So my page was huge. So I would just mass message or whatever. Somehow one of these chicks ended up in my mass messages, and she was, we got to talking or whatever. Now I'm broke boy. I ain't got no money. Because back in those days when you were young, we hang out with girls. It was just like, we're going to one of the homies' crib. We're smoking weed and, you cuddle and shit like that. Or I would bring chicks back to my parents' house, right? Which I ain't know no better back then. Anyway, so I get to talking to this chick, blah, 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 blah. And she I want to go out. It's my birthday Friday. And I was like, shorty, I ain't got no bread. And she didn't even look that good neither, so I definitely wasn't about to dip in the reserves for her. I was like, shorty, I ain't got no bread. She was like, I'll pay you. I was like, what? You gonna pay me to go out with you? Nah, this is a first for me, young buck like me. This is a first for me. She's like, yeah, just come pick me up. Say less. I'm broke, so I'm like, yo, I need this money, okay? So I get to her crib, and this bitch is 6'8". This a huge bitch. So she come get in my car, her feet hanging out the window because she too big to sit in the car. And I got my homies. I had to bring backup. So I had the homies with me. Her friends was going to meet us there. So I'm texting the homies. We had the T-Mobile Sidekick. So I'm texting the homie on the T-Mobile Sidekick like, yo, we going to 40/40 Club. Because we didn't know where we was going to go. 40/40 Club. Fuck it. So we go to 40/40 Club. We go to motherfucking 40 Club. We get inside, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just pissed off. Because here I am, fucking all 5'11" of me, and she's 6'8", and she's just dancing in front of me and shit. And I'm looking up like, she's looking down like, And it's just, this is not good. Now, keep in mind, her two friends is normal height and look good as shit. So I got stuck with the behemoth ugly bitch. But I said, listen, you getting paid. Hang in there. My homies is over here. They pointing at me laughing like, aha, nigga. And they are dying laughing. I'm throwing them the finger like, fuck y'all. So that was YOLO and Val. YOLO and Val are over there with the two baddies. They on the swings. They having a good time. And I'm just over there looking at these niggas like, damn, they got two of the... I'm looking at the baddies like, damn, she bad as hell. I'm talking, that chick was bad as shit. Anyway, date over. I'm like, thank God. It's time to leave the 40-40. You know, let's throw this big-ass bitch in the car, and we gonna take her home. So I pull up at her crib, and she like, come inside. Oh, my stomach started hurting. I'm like, come inside. Yeah. All right, say less. So, story about to get graphic in a second. So we go inside her house. Her house smell. It got like, I don't know, it smell like feet or some shit like that. So I go in her room. Her room don't smell as bad. So I guess she living with family or some shit like that. So I sit on the edge of the bed. I look like a very scared child at this point. And I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, back straight, just like hoping like, you know, she just wants to talk, right? This bitch starts taking off her clothes. This big, long-ass bitch start taking off her clothes. And I'm acting like I don't notice. I'm just talking to her like, yeah, you know, 40-40, we had a good time tonight. I'm acting like I don't notice. Then she gave me the cue like, let's get it in. And I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do this. So I go to give her a little hand job. You know what I mean? Little finger job. She like, I gotta do that myself. And she pushed my hand out the way. I was like, oh shit. And then she started getting herself off. So I guess she was gonna do that, expecting me to join in later. So I'm sitting on the bed and I'm looking at the door and I'm like, the door is unlocked. All right, so I go that way, make a right, go down the stairs, and my car's right there. So I put my hand in my pocket, make sure I got my keys ready, and I do a countdown. I'm like, on 3, we just gonna burst out of here. We not gonna say bye or nothing. We just gonna get the fuck out of here. I was like, 3. You ever been a kid and, you know, you home alone and it's dark and you want to go to your room, but you scared of the boogeyman and ghosts, so you want to turn all the lights on in the house, so you run really fast upstairs and turn all the lights on? This is me. 3, 2, 1. Jumping down the stairs. Hop in the car. Boom, I'm out. Boy, never again. Never again. Highly do not suggest it. Real life horror story. We got Owen Shroyer waiting. I'll be right back after this short, brief commercial message.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Owen Shroyer in the house.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, man? Oh, yeah, chat. I definitely got my money. I forgot to tell y'all that. I definitely got my money. I got my money when we got there. I got paid up front. Owen, what's up, man? What you said you had to tell me? You said you wanted to wait till we got on air.
So you are obviously massively shadow banned on X. I mean, dude, this is crazy. You have 250,000. You have more than 250,000 followers. I have about 150,000 followers. Pretty much every post I make, it's at least 10K views. But you posted the link to this live stream, and I reposted it, and it barely cracked 5,000 views. So I don't know if that's them shadow banning the hell out of you, or maybe they just didn't want this live stream to be seen. But dude, that is impossible that that doesn't have at least 10K or 20 or 30,000 people viewing it.
Yeah. People told me I was shadow banned on X, and I'm just like, it's par for the course, right?
So it is a shadow ban on X, dude. That's crazy. That's insane. What do you do that's so bad? What do they hate about you?
I bring people together. I think
How long have you had the X account?
2009.
See, I think what's going on is because I got my original account reinstated, but I started that new account in the process. So now I have two accounts. Right. But what I've noticed is my older account that was obviously banned and shadow banned, it's a lot harder for me to get reached there. I think there's these algorithms that still exist, and it's probably still hitting you, just left over from the old Twitter days. They probably just haven't lifted the shadow ban algorithm on you.
Yeah. I also think that's that. Remember when Elon posted those screenshots of there's these labels on your account? And I wanted him to show me, what labels are on my account. And I think you're right. I think I probably still have those labels on my account from
It's gotta be, because that is insane. And I mean, you put up a banger headline for this too. I mean, that people go crazy over that stuff. You knew what you were doing.
Yeah. And still no love from Elon's X. But, it is what it is. To me, it's an ego boost, right? It's like, I'm so badass that big tech got to try to stop me. So that's how I take it.
I did a little ego inflating today on the Alex Jones show, the same thing, because he was talking about how they had this illegal judgment against him in this Stormy Daniels hush money case, which is obviously BS.
Yeah.
But he's like, this is illegal. What the judge did was illegal, this ruling. And I was kind of like, wow, everything they've done to Trump, they did to us first. Like, we're the real MVPs here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it started with Alex and, was it Farrakhan? Alex got removed from X and Farrakhan got removed from Instagram. And then they removed Farrakhan's verified sticker. So those two were the first ones to really catch the first bans. I remember that day. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I remember those were the two big names. There were definitely some other people that got hit in that, when they first hit, basically when they hit Alex Jones, they took every Infowars channel. So it was a lot of other crew members and stuff. Anybody that was basically operating on the IP address got wiped out, or anybody that was working for Infowars got wiped out. But I remember it was Farrakhan and it was Jones. And it was was that just this guy's on this side of the aisle, this guy's on this side of the aisle, let's make it look fair?
Correct.
Because they never really explained it.
That's exactly what it was. They wanted to say, they didn't want people to say, oh, well, you got him and not him. And it was just like, nah, we got both sides. We got the black right wing and the left and the white right wing.
And they both supported Trump, but I'm sure that had nothing to do with it.
Oh, of course it did. Of course it did.
Yeah.
So let's hash out the race war. You are the de facto leader of white people today. I'm the de facto leader of black people today. And
I rejected this role in prison, but I'll embrace it now.
What do you mean you rejected it in prison? Shut up, bro.
Oh, I'm telling you, these guys would come up to me in prison because people aren't trying to get their times extended where I served my time. Mm-hmm. And so if they saw a white guy that was well known, and because people would always see, because I had a bit of a reputation there. Once people find out you got a podcast or a show or you're famous, everyone wants to tell you their story. So if a white guy was in the wrong place in the prison yard, or a white guy was at the wrong table at lunch, they'd come up to me and they'd say, hey, you represent the whites, tell him to move or we're going to have to beat his ass. So I'd be like, I don't represent the whites. They'd be like, no, you represent the whites. So I'd be like, all right, dude, look, hey, just move along. They don't want to beat you up. And then they'd grump at me and I'd be like, dude, I just don't want you to get beaten up here today. So whatever.
So you were part of the white Aryan Brotherhood when you got locked up?
No, I was technically Texas independent. That's what I would have been classified as a Texas independent.
Oh, my Lord, have mercy. He was in jail as a white supremacist. Oh, Lord, have mercy.
They tried to do me wrong.
All right, so you seen the rhetoric. You seen Alex. He said black people are hunting down white people. Come on, man. What's up with Big Bro, man?
Well, I mean, you can't deny there's a pattern of behavior here. I mean, I feel that denying that there is a pattern of behavior here is not being intellectually honest. But I think that in the same token, you obviously don't make blanket assumptions. You don't make blanket statements.
What's the pattern?
I mean, that whites are being targeted by blacks at schools,
targeted?
whether it's teachers. Absolutely. Absolutely targeted. 100%.
You really believe that, Owen?
Well, what's the defense? What's the counterpoint?
No, like, how can it be a counterpoint when I don't even believe in the myth?
Okay, well, I'll give you a counterpoint because I actually worked in a school in the inner cities. I actually worked in a school in the inner cities for 2 years, and I can tell you, I will tell you, yes, it's not that I believe that. I've seen it. If you're white, you're not going to this school, and if you do, you're not lasting more than 2 weeks. I've seen it. And look, a lot of this is just natural high school bullying, right? I'm not necessarily...
You're saying this is a predominantly minority school, and the whites are in there, and they're getting bullied by the majority.
Yes. They aren't lasting much more than 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with that. But that's an in-group, out-group thing. That's not, I'm targeting you because you're white. No, you're the out-group.
Well, and I would say my counterpoint would be as many times as a white kid might get bullied or a white kid might get harassed or beaten up and then want to leave the school, there were plenty of fights between the black kids too. So it's not like that's the only activity that's happening. I think here's the overlying issue.
Yeah.
I think here's the overlying issue is that white people at this point feel they've been targeted by so much, we'll call it reverse racism.
Okay.
That they're looking for the anecdotal evidence of the results.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's a level of that going on, but the pattern of behavior is undeniable. I mean, when you have the stories like Ethan Liming and some of these teachers, I mean, to me, it feels different. It looks different. It looks like they've been brought up in this world where they're taught to hate white people. And when they're committing these beatings and sometimes beating them to death or fracturing their skulls, I mean, it looks like it's coming from a place of hatred. I mean, really, but it's not like they had some experience to hate a white person. It's indoctrination. So
I agree with that.
That's kind of what I see going on.
I've hated white people. I'd probably say up until about 10 years ago, I hated white people. But I never targeted white people. But I have admitted that it was indoctrination that made me that way. So we have no disagreement on that front at all.
But I think the reason why, or a reason why I might reach this conclusion, and I mean, targeted might be a harsh word. I would say it's just white hatred is really more than anything. Whether it's targeted or not is a different story. And maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, and this will kind of expand what you're talking about. But I mean, when I was in grade school, when I was in high school, I mean, even when I was in college, like race wasn't even a thing. I mean, nobody thought about your race. That's why it's so strange to me.
It was for me. As a black kid who grew up in a predominantly Italian neighborhood, I was targeted by the Italians. In fact, 5th grade, I had to choke one of the motherfuckers out. Okay? I had to fight. I moved from Newark to the burbs in 3rd grade. I had to fight 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade. I had to fight white people a lot. At least once a month I was in a fight. I was down to principal office. They was fucking with me, and I'd have to put hands and feet on somebody. Sometimes I won the fight. Sometimes I lost the fight. But we was fighting, and I was targeted. You see what I'm saying? The thing is, I enjoy those days because it made me what I am now. So what I'm not going to do is go online and bitch and cry and go, oh, look at this. For example, when we had all those black people complaining about white police officers kicking the black man's ass, do you know what I told them? I told them the same thing I told the whites when they complaining about being targeted by blacks. Shut the fuck up, you being a bitch. This is bitch assness. And it will not be tolerated in Hotepistan. No bitch assness in Hotepistan. What we're not going to do is act like the anomalies represent the whole. Because in the majority of schools, you don't see stuff like this, especially when you see the race is more balanced. I could go all day long and talk about how young black boys are targeted by their white teachers and alienated and end up in the principal's office more than anybody. I don't use my time online to do that because it's divisive. And those problems have a higher solution. So when we talk about the rise in black crime versus white people, do you know what I believe? I believe this comes from lack of economic prosperity. That's where a lot of crime in America comes from, lack of economic prosperity, and the main culprit is minimum wage. The culprit above that is the Federal Reserve. So as we've taken the fight from the Federal Reserve, we've taken a fight from the House Committee on Financial Services and moved it to the timeline to complain about, oh, I'm being hunted by blacks. It seems like we've lost sight of where the source of these problems are coming from. So are we going to complain about the tumor of the cancer, or are we going to talk about the source of where the cancer started from? That's what I want to know. But yeah, it's games, it's engagement, right? Like people want to do this shit for lulz and clicks, and that shit's cute. But I'm a 43-year-old man. I got time for these little dumbass games.
Yeah, I would agree. Generally speaking, that the source also needs to be identified. But I think that you also look at the symptoms as well, and so I think to ignore the symptoms is not necessarily wise. A lot to unpack there. I'm going to try to respond to all of it because I'm here taking notes. I think also part of the issue here that you just kind of highlighted there was because of the internet and because we have these videos and people farming for clicks and impressions, it no doubt amplifies an issue, even where, and I noticed that you responded to one of these videos the other day where somebody will take a video maybe from 10 years ago and upload it to their Twitter account and say, yeah, well, look, and that was an instance, I think it was a white girl or something was beaten by some black girls on a bus. Yeah. And it happened like 10 years ago. And then it goes viral again on Twitter. And so then that also kind of makes an amplification, a synthetic amplification process of what might be a smaller issue. Even if it does exist, it might amplify it and make it feel worse. So I don't know what you really do about that as far as, internet content is concerned. Myself personally, dealing with this as a talk show host, as a member of the media, I now double and triple check to make sure things aren't old because I don't want to engage in that. So that's one thing that I do is I always try to double and triple check to make sure things aren't old. And it's actually a lot easier than you would think.
Right.
And then kind of moving up the ladder, I hate talking about race issues just in general as well for two reasons. One, I feel talking about it really doesn't help. Everybody's like, oh, we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. I don't know. Do we, though? I don't know if we really do. I don't think it does help. But sometimes talking about things does help. I'm not sure with this, it actually does help. And then two, and I don't know maybe if you feel the same way, but most of the time when I'm forced to talk about a race issue because it's in the media or there's some big story or I'm just being propagandized into falling into the trap, most of the time, I always have regret. I'm like, it was just unnecessary. It was just unnecessary to talk about it. And so you try not to. But okay, we get into some of the larger issues here. I think you talk about economic prosperity. There's no doubt. If a man is poor, the odds that he's going to commit a robbery increase. It doesn't matter whether he's black or white. I mean, that's just a fact of life that a poor man is more likely to commit a robbery than a rich man is. Well, I guess unless you maybe work in Congress, that might be a different story. But I think that now you're getting into the issues that if we could address the source of it, it would be a lot better. Because if you look at what people might either accurately or inaccurately call modern day black culture, which is probably mostly propaganda to say, oh, it's thuggery, it's inner city thuggery and gang activity and all this stuff and what we're seeing. That's all done synthetically. That's all done synthetically. It's done synthetically by stealing the youth and the jobs from the inner city. It's done synthetically by introducing them to Jay-Z, who's probably just a gay CIA puppet. And so now they think, oh, well, this is just my culture. I'm a thug. That's what makes me cool. Well, that's not actually black culture. Black culture is like jazz music, Black Wall Street, entrepreneurship, perseverance. I mean, that's what black culture would be if it wasn't destroyed by the CIA and it wasn't destroyed by politicians destroying the black communities. So there's no doubt that there is an issue there. And so, okay, we can address the source of these issues, but then I think we do have to go back to the ground level. And I think we do have to ask ourselves questions like, what about the issue of fatherless homes? What about that issue? That certainly is not helping young black men. I also think that the approach, or rather the hatred that's being pushed on young black men towards police officers is not really helping them either. So I think there are ground level issues that we can discuss and talk about. But if we're not addressing the source, then yeah, you're going to be sitting here basically popping pimples your entire life instead of stop ingesting seed oils or whatever is causing it so that you don't have these pimples to pop anymore.
Yeah. So I don't want to respond to each one of those things because we don't have much time with you today. I want to just zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. 2024 is an election year, Owen. We lost the last election, okay? Trump lost the last election.
Lost.
Okay? Now, we're seeing a rise in violence across the board for all races due to Bidenomics and inflation. So instead of saying, yo, inflation is increasing crime, we're just going, oh, it's Jay-Z's fault. Oh, it's the music. Oh, look at these black teens. We spent a tremendous amount of time taking a look at the illegal border crisis. They take the illegals, they don't put them in the white neighborhoods, Owen. They put them in the black neighborhoods and they use our community centers, and now we don't have access to them. Then when you squeeze us out, after you've already put us in projects and squeeze us there, and you squeeze us some more with the illegals, and the jobs are taken by the illegals, then you wonder why there's a crime and spike. And it's just like, why don't you just stay on point and stop the leak, which is the border, which is the Fed? Y'all was doing the right thing talking about the border. You were doing the right thing talking about the Fed. But now what happens is the Democrats have lost all potency in messaging to the black community because of the rising prices of goods. Can't even afford to go to the grocery store anymore. So this is a layup. We're going to get to the basketball game soon. This is a layup. This is a layup for the Republicans. And instead of staying focused and saying we got the Democrats right where we want them, black people are coming over here in droves. Instead, you just said, let's alienate the black people. Let's talk about the black people like everything that's happening to them is their fault. Alex Jones admitted, you just admitted, it was a CIA op that took something like brotherly love overrides oppression and destruction, which is the origin of Bloods, and turns it into the thing that it is today. Then you go, look at you blacks. You can't get it together. And it's just like, well, we could if you didn't have the fucking CIA. Now, is the CIA run by black people? No, it's run by white people. So how is it? It's a problem of race when it comes to the black community and the black gangs, but when your gangs, your white gangs, destroy entire countries and communities, you all of a sudden you're colorblind. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. It's called hypocrisy and it's called bigotry. Coming back to my previous point, we're in election year. It's the easiest time than ever to get independent voters and particularly black voters. But instead, y'all chose to go down the path of the lily white movement. Keep your fucking mouth shut. You don't even have to mention black people and you're going to get the black vote this year. Just mention prosperity, jobs, money, freedom of guns, and it'll come right to you. But instead, you guys chose to alienate a base that was coming over in droves, and now we're just going to put to the point where we're not even going to vote. So it's going to make it a little bit harder to get Trump in. So it's like, do you want Trump to win or not?
Well, let me respond to that, but let me first kind of draw back for a second. Remove bad white people, remove bad black people. Obviously, we all got our own problems, different scales, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the response, you call it the lily white movement. I think that what this really represents is just white Americans being told that they're the problem, they're all racist, they're this, they're that. And so it's kind of this defensive, visceral response like, oh, you're going to point the finger at me? Well, I can point it right back at you. And so, yeah, obviously I'd like to stop that too. But we're not the ones controlling the mechanisms of all this propaganda. I mean, we can take our platforms and we can have this conversation, but I mean, you have to understand, like, that's what it is. I mean, that's why when
Owen,
Nick Fuentes goes on rants and says the N-word, white people are like,
But Owen, all you're telling me is this is the first time you felt any struggle. Black people were in the same position as you for 100 plus years in the media.
But it's not even about struggle.
No, wait,
struggle.
hold on, Owen. You mentioned how the media talks about white men. You just started dealing with that. I've been dealing with that my whole life. You don't see me on the timeline crying about what the fucking media did to me.
But didn't you admit that caused you to hate white people?
Yes. And
so that's what I'm saying. So
I'm
like,
trying
it goes
to warn
both
y'all,
ways.
and I'm trying to warn y'all not to go down the same path. You got great leaders like yourself and Alex, and what you're doing is you're breeding hate amongst a group of people who are dealing with something that I went through that created hate within me. But you don't see me on the timeline crying about what the media did to me.
I think here's the challenge. This is the challenge. And then let me respond to Kanye and Trump, because there's a very important thing there.
Okay.
But here's the challenge. Let's talk about this new trend, which probably is long overdue, but that's people talking about Israel's influence over our foreign policy or the massive Jewish influence over our Christian nation. It's a real conversation. It's long overdue. But see, here's the problem. And I think that this is kind of where we might agree that if we're not addressing this right, we're not helping the cause. So what you have is now individuals that just blame the Jews for everything.
Right.
I'll file a report on a Chinese spy balloon or a Chinese this, and people are just like, Jew, Jew, Jew. It's like the old Alex Jones meme, like Jew, 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 Jew.
Right.
And so now what you're doing is you're watering down a real issue or a real conversation. So you can't talk about the actual Israeli influence over foreign policy and have people listen, or talk about the unelected leaders that are all Jewish in the Biden administration, because they claim they're not white. And so I don't know if it's about skin color or what it's about. That I don't know if I can't even begin to understand this whole crap.
Can they blend in?
If you ask me, Jews are obviously white. I mean, is that even a debate? They're definitely not black. I don't know. If you ask Kyrie Irving, he might disagree, but that's a whole other story. But see, the point is, like you said, if we can't sit here and talk about, look at this kid getting beat on a school bus, or look at this issue over here, or look at slavery. We're all getting screwed by the Federal Reserve. The CIA is running this propaganda. But it's like when we stay in these low-level, low-vibrational energies, we can't even have the real conversations that need to be had. But let me respond to the Kanye and Trump situations.
Okay.
First of all, what Kanye said, and I think Kanye has his moments of brilliance, and then sometimes Kanye has moments where I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Right.
But he had a moment of brilliance the other day where a reporter tries to trap him, saying, hey, what do you think about the Israel-Palestine scenario? They obviously tried to trap him, and he played it perfectly. I mean, grand slam out of the park, round the bases. He says, you want to sit here and talk to me about kids on the other side of the planet. I'm from Chicago, where 14 kids just got shot. Bingo. I have to sit here all day long, and I'll see all these. It is mostly Jewish ads. I mean, I don't see Palestinian ads anywhere, but I'll see ads all day long. Look at this Jewish family that got killed in the war. Look at this Jewish kid that is held hostage. And then we do hear about the Palestinian children as well. And I mean, it's all over the news. 12,000 children dead. But it's like, oh, these children. Look at these children. Look at these children. Look at these children.
Right.
But what about your front yard? What about your backyard? Talk to me about the kids in Chicago. I do this game all the time on my show on Mondays. Shoot, look at gun crimes in Chicago. You'll have 3, 4 shots, sometimes kids. St. Louis, Baltimore, Kansas City. So we got kids getting killed in our own cities, But all the propaganda is, oh, care about the kids in this country, care about the kids in that country. And we ignore the issues in our own country.
Let's
so
talk
let's bring
about
it to
Chicago.
Trump now.
Do you remember Operation Fast and Furious?
Yeah, they were running the guns, Obama running the guns.
We're looking at the kids and we're blaming black men and black women and the community and the black kids for the problem when Barack Obama ran Operation Fast and Furious mixed with El Chapo, two of the biggest cartels in the world. And the agreement was, El Chapo, we'll let you operate, but you got to operate in Chicago.
Well,
we don't talk about that.
Let's bring this.
But we don't talk about that. It's Hotep Jesus. Why don't you talk about that? I'm talking about Operation Fast and Furious. I'm not talking about the little kid who was a victim of the CIA yacht.
Well, there's always that. There's always that. You got to remain strong because it's hard not to get involved in the reactionaries. Like, why don't you cover this? Why don't you cover that? And it's like, I just covered that yesterday. You just didn't see it.
Right.
But okay, so let's bring it to Trump now. There was a big moment. There was a huge, maybe one of the biggest moments in 2016. Where in, I believe it was April or May, I don't remember the month, Trump had the groundbreaking rally in St. Louis, Missouri. I mean, this is like the rally that changed the entire course. And it was in downtown St. Louis. It was my hometown where I lived at the time. And he filled the Peabody Opera House because they weren't expecting such a big crowd. That holds about 6,000. He could have easily filled the hockey arena that holds 22,000, but they weren't expecting this big crowd. So this massive crowd, St. Louis is probably maybe 50, 60% black, downtown maybe 70, 80%. And a lot of the people that showed up were black Americans. And so Trump sells out this big venue. I mean, lines miles around the block. It was like everything changed in that moment. It was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Nobody expected this. Okay, so why am I mentioning that? The next rally that Trump had was downtown Chicago. And I'm sure you recall what the Democrats did to sabotage that rally. They had Aaron Black and all their DNC operatives exposed by, at the time, Laura Loomer, who was working undercover for Project Veritas. And they sent their Democrat operatives in. They caused violence and the whole thing got shut down. And guess what? Trump never went back to the inner cities. So Trump was the only Republican candidate smart enough to realize, why aren't we tapping into the votes in the inner cities? Why aren't we even trying to get black voters? It's not that hard. Like you said, just mention prosperity, mention lowering taxes. It'd be the easiest thing. You just got to go there and do it. You just actually have to go and do it.
Correct.
And so Trump finally did it. So what'd they do? So they made sure he never did it again, and they caused the violent attacks in Chicago, and then he never did it again. Right. And then he never went to these downtown areas. Now he's saying he might do it again, but only time will tell. So I guess to conclude this, the ultimate question, I think there's two ultimate questions, and this one really may have to do with race, may not, but I think it really is the ultimate question is, when will Democrat voters be sick of being lied to? But more importantly, what is the unifying factor? I mean, what is
boomers.
It that we can really get and unify people?
First of all, fuck the Democrat voters. They're all boomers. They're about to die. Fuck them. Don't worry about them. We got to worry about the next generation, right? The people that are 40, 30, 20, right? They're on Twitter.
Yeah, specifically the teenagers in the 20s. That's why we need to play basketball and stuff.
Absolutely. They're on Twitter. The boomers ain't on Twitter. So when we having these feuds and y'all is saying, yo, it's a race war and black people are hunting them, you are embedding in the young black youth early on why they should not fuck with the right, why they should not fuck with the Republicans. So what it makes sense is, if you're smart enough to know it's the CIA, if I'm smart enough to know it's the FBI, that I'm not going to play into the games of race war that they created. I'm going to make sure I use my platform responsibly and speak words of love and unity, things that unite people. Not go, hey, all the cops that killed black people was white. That's corny. When people did that during the Black Lives Matter, I got popular amongst the right because I called that shit out. Like, yo, stop putting that shit on the timeline. That's the anomaly. That does not happen all the time. And that's crazy for me to say, because I done dealt with a whole lot of cop problems right here in Blue, New Jersey. I'm talking about racial profiling. But I don't talk about that shit because I'm a man and I don't act like a bitch. I talk about strength and power. So if we have the opportunity to have a platform, we got to use that platform responsibly and talk truth to power. And not sit up and cry like babies and go, oh my God. So just like I told them, yo, stop being a bitch. The cop pulled you over. Khalid Muhammad told you was behind enemy lines, so you need to act appropriately when you get pulled over by a cop, especially like a white cop. I'm gonna tell the white man the same thing. You send your kid to a predominantly black neighborhood, teach that little motherfucker how to fight. When you black in a black neighborhood, everybody fight. That's part of the culture. So you think your kid getting singled out? No, we all fighting. And in order for him to get respect as a white kid, he got to throw his hands up. So
or he might have to learn how to play basketball.
Or you got, and everybody knows in the black community, you throw your hands up, you automatically get respect no matter your skin color. But if you a bitch and you tuck and cower, you not getting no respect. And this is like sort of like jail mentality in the black community because everybody feels so squished together. It's like jail. That's why you have jail-like behavior in the hood. The schools designed like jail. So when it fast forward 2024 and I see y'all bitching on the timeline, I'm calling y'all out just like I called out them black liberals. Stop acting like a bitch. Speak truth to power. Let's focus on the problem here. Federal Reserve, IRS, CIA, FBI, and stop fucking fighting each other because they designed all this shit for us to be fighting. It's that simple. But now every white man want to be a victim. I never seen a crop of weak white men. I had hope for the white man. I no longer got hope for the white man. I'm like, oh, they just white niggas. Y'all on the timeline whining and bitching and complaining about being attacked. Are you fucking shitting me? In your country?
Well, when I heard the
George Washington is rolling over in his grave. Andrew Jackson is rolling over in his grave. Andrew Jackson would have put his foot in somebody's ass if they fucked with him. He'd have smacked these new white people out here. Like, pull it the fuck together, white man.
Yeah, we all got to beat the propaganda. We all got to beat the propaganda. But look, when you offered the opportunity to come on here and have this conversation, I jumped at it because
you did.
There are ways for us to build each other up and find the unifying factors so that we can all get a better result. I agree with that. And just so people understand, if you're tuning in, you're like, what does this guy keep saying basketball? I'm not like Hillary Clinton telling you I like hot sauce or, Joe Biden telling you to eat some fried chicken or something. But we've been long overdue to start collabing on outside of the political line stuff. And so you and I were kind of going back and forth about a basketball game. I think stuff like this needs to happen because this is what's going to draw in the youth vote. I mean, look, I don't want to name names because I'm not trying to attack people, but look, you have numbskulls that get millions of followers on the internet just because they do like a trick shot on a trampoline or, they jump off of a cliff or something and they get millions of followers. We have to start engaging in some of that activity. And that's how we can start to draw people in because there's this kind of understanding that's false that, oh, you're a politico, you're a nerd, you're not cool, I don't want to hang out with you. When the truth is we're actually not like that. We've hung out together, we've gone to events together. We're actually cool people. We're not nerds. Right. We just happen to be informed.
Correct.
And so I think the way to kind of edge that out is to start engaging in collab projects, whether it's like music that's good or playing sports together and like having fun competitions or boxing or whatever. I think that we have to start engaging in some of that stuff to kind of clear this air that, oh, you're all nerds, you're all politicos, you don't have any personality outside of that.
Absolutely. I don't, they don't pick up the phone for me at Daily Wire and the Blaze and all of that stuff. So call these motherfuckers. Let's get Daily Wire. Let's get Blaze. Let's get Infowars. We get Hotep Nation and whoever the fuck else got a platform. And we have a big ass tournament. We
might have to just do it. We might have to just do it first because I'm not sure how.
Do that.
It's like
Infowars,
once we
Hotep
do
Nation,
it and it's popular. Yeah. Once we do it and it's popular, then everybody has to copy it. So that's what we got to do, brother.
Let's do it. I'm ready, man. Tell Alex.
Well, it's going to be
fun. The budget up because he actually I don't even know how much money Alex got after the fucking government done raped him.
I won't even comment on that. It's it is what it is. But it's not expensive to play basketball. I mean, it's not expensive at all.
But I mean, we gotta fly people out. We gotta put people in hotel
We'll find a creative
rooms.
way to do this. We'll find a creative way to do this.
Okay. Absolutely. And we could raise money and donate it to a nonprofit or some shit, but live stream it. A lot of big things could come from this. I agree with you.
I agree. Yep.
Well, you the man, bro. You always been genuine and real to me. I appreciate you for coming on the platform, bro.
Good catching up. Appreciate the platform.
And
Talk
tell
again soon.
Alex, cool that shit the fuck out, man. I love him. I love him to death. I swear I love Alex, but he got to cut that shit the fuck out.
We'll see if we can get you on the show to discuss it. You
I
can
don't
tell
know
him
if
personally.
I'm coming till he cut it out.
You call him out. Say it to him on air. He'll love it.
I did. Alex, cut it the fuck out. All right.
I'll let him know.
All right, yo.
Peace out.
Peace. Hit the leave button. Tell your team hit the leave button. Huh? What y'all said in the chat? Owen, get off my screen.
I got to do everything around here.
Hotep still won't hold blacks accountable because CIA, question mark. All right, hold on. Let's get this nigga the fuck out of here. All right, banned. Who else we got to ban in this motherfucker? Who else we got to show love? Racism talking points. Oh my God. HJ called him a bitch to his face and he knows it. I wasn't calling him a bitch. That's not what I was doing. HJ is cooking. I'm just saying, you know, I get passionate about some of this shit, you know? That's all that is. Jabari said, I got jumped a bunch of times in my black high school by other black people. I never cried or complained. Nigga. I went to fucking Union County College and I had to fight. I was in the basketball gym. Big ass 6'4" Spanish nigga. You serious? When I was in the hood, I was a suburban cat. Every summer I go to the hood. Shout out to Hillside, New Jersey. Now, I'm not going to say it was like the hood, like projects, but my cousins was ghetto as shit. I had to fight. They used to make me fight. They used to pick fights with people down the street, then go say, Brian, go fight them. This is the shit my cousins used to do to me. You serious? Motherfucking the hood is crazy. But you don't see me going online crying about it. Shout out to the NJ Pigs. Word. Man, these NJ cops. I ain't want to say nothing online because they'll pull up outside on my ass. Motherfuckers are some damn Nazis and shit. I don't know what Owen's vertical. This is a conversation. People, you trying to cook this man. Relax. They have to be entertaining too. We all are HJ fans, obviously. What happened? Let's go to the phone lines. Fuck it. Let's stop bullshitting. Let's open up the phone lines. Let y'all get y'all voice heard. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Text Hotep in your name. Don't just call in. Text first, please and thank you. Text first, please and thank you. Let's get the phone lines are now open. Phone lines are now open. Who is this? D02. Thank you for the 1999 super. He said Hotep mad because he knows Alex was a teacher to him and going off topic may push away young people like he was. That's correct. That's correct. I can't tell my homies go check out Alex Jones and he talking about black people are targeting them. That should have sound crazy. Matter of fact, I might have to call the hood. Let me call my hood connect, my niggas that's still in touch with the streets and get their verdict. Maybe he say they is. Maybe he says, yeah, we out here beating up white people. Let me see if he picks up. Yo, I'm live right now. I got a question for you. I need some insight into the hood and the culture and the youth. And I know you got that connection. You got about 5 minutes?
Yeah, I just had to see bad.
So Alex Jones is online and he says that black people are hunting down white people. And, you know, from your point of view, do you think that there is a spike or a rise or black people are hunting down white people in 2024?
Hunting them where? Where are they at?
I don't know, somewhere in America.
Online, maybe.
Online? What about offline? They saying kids getting their ass whooped in school and all that.
Well, I mean, I think that when you try to fortify yourself up against what you see on social media all the time, trying to get what your hand calls for. So if they're watching the most ratchet parts of us on Instagram and they're attracted to it, so they watch it and watch it and watch it to prepare themselves for a confrontation with it, and then they show up in front of it non-black, you ask for that.
Who asked for it?
Becky.
How did Becky ask for it?
Because Becky went out and bought edge control gel and made baby hairs on her forehead. And she put on lashes and some tights, and she made a couple twerk reels. And now she wants to go outside and hang out with Tantabuka Rahima. And, you know, Tantabuka Rahima doesn't want Tyrone around Becky because white girls are nasty. This is a fact. Tyrone doesn't have a lot of experience with them, or he would know that their skin is really rough and dry, but he just wants to try it because he sees it on Instagram. And then Becky gets slid. That's how that goes.
Do you think black people hate white people?
Do I think black people hate white people? No, I think that black people are very naive when it comes to white people.
We're naive when it comes to white people. Interesting. Continue.
Black people have this thing where they feel like if they are accepted, if they accept white people, then white people will accept them back in return. That's just not true. White people believe what they've been taught about black people. So black people should, in return, believe what they see from white people. Regardless of what you've been taught, respect what you see. I'll give you an example of what I mean.
Okay.
You take an all-white neighborhood in upper middle class New Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
7:30 at night, you need a flashlight to walk from your backyard into your neighbor's backyard. You can't see anything.
Right.
This is white America, right?
Yep.
You take a middle class black family that lives in a regular middle class neighborhood in America. They go on their porch or in the front of their building at 9:30 at night. They can open a book and read it. It's that well lit. You understand? They let them sleep and they keep us up and outside because it gives them jobs to do, policing us. They don't do that to their own.
Dang, that's kind of deep.
Yeah, I mean, you want it to not be crime, put them in the dark like you do your own. You understand? All of our neighborhoods pretty much look like Times Squares by design.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Damn. So do you think that this naivety of blacks is now like we have this animus where we want to attack? Do you feel angry against white people, like you want to attack a white man more than a black man or anything like that?
No, I think.
Have you ever felt that?
I have. The only time that I personally have felt that way is in corporate America, because they have like they're like microaggressive about their beliefs.
Yes.
You know, and they make little remarks. I like overt racism more than like covert racism. Covert racism is an issue because you'll play victim when I tell you, like, bro, that was a little bit out of line. I want my racist people to be racist. I want the guy from Arkansas with 2 teeth in his mouth that hates niggas. He works for me. You know, Bob from accounting, you know, saying, my wife is trying to learn how to cook. You got any fried chicken recipes? I want to follow him to the bathroom and ask him what he means, you know, when nobody's there. It's different. But I think that, again, I would say that black people, especially black women, are very, very naive to how racist white people actually are. And our women have gotten into a space where they are fetishized and they are mistaking being a fetish of a white boy as a choice. You're not his choice. You're his fetish. He doesn't like you. The same way, once he finds out that Becky slept with one of us, she'll never hold value in their community. She doesn't even have to give one of us a baby. It just has to be known in their community that she slept with a black man and she loses value. I know that people aren't going to want to hear that on your show, but it's the truth. You know, for us, it's not really like that because we're naive to how racism actually works. So, you know, a black woman could date a white man and everybody is going to act like it never happened. It's going to be about whatever it was about, and then she'll get disregarded and she'll pretend she never did it. That's what our sisters do. You call me for honesty. I'm giving you honesty.
No, this is beautiful. This is what I want. So where's this naivety come from? How come white people know where the fuck they stand with niggas and we don't know where we stand with them? Why are we so, as you said, naive? Why are black women so naive?
Yeah, because it's not his job to teach us that we're stupid. You know, and I mean, it's with everything from like fashion to food to the car we drive to the place that we live at. Now, when it comes to shelter, you know, they don't want to emulate the black experience. But as far as like food and clothing and things of that nature, I know more white women that go to Manhattan and buy knockoff designer from Canal Street. You understand? And I know a whole bunch of black women that are on Section 8, black men and women that live in housing, that go into Lord & Taylor and Bloomingdale's and Short Hills Mall and buy the real thing. And nobody knows the difference. You understand? But they know that these niggas are going to assume that mine's is real because I'm white. Niggas want to prove that theirs is real because they're comparing themselves to white people. White people don't want to be niggas. We're a niche for them. You understand? We're a niche for them and they're the bar for us. And until that changes, it is what it is.
Why are we so naive and accepting, whereas, you know, like you know, we will accept our black women back and they won't accept their white women back? Why are we so naive to it? Why are we open up the doors to the culture? Like the other day is a story about Beyonce's song wasn't allowed on Memphis radio because Memphis radio said they do country and Beyonce not country, and so they gatekeeping, right? But we never gatekeep our culture.
How the fuck is she not country and she from Texas? You don't get no country than being born and raised in Houston.
Say it again. Say it again.
I mean, I guess they missed that part. Maybe they think she's from Marcy. I don't know.
So that's a great point. She's from Texas, Houston, Texas. Like you said, they don't get no more country music than fucking Texas. You got Nashville, Tennessee, and Texas. That's it.
Yeah.
So, but why are we so fucking accepting of them and letting them in our doors, but they are like shut us out?
I think that it is based on fear. You understand? So it's like they walk into spaces knowing that they are supposed to be there, and they own that outlook or that approach to life. You know, black people will get into the same corporate office and be like, "Oh, I'm happy that I'm here," and then what will end up happening is they'll actually be weaponized against their own people. I'll give you an example. You'll take a white guy and a white girl, right? On average, let's say in this country, I'm willing to bet a dime to a donut that domestic violence happens a lot less in white communities than black communities.
Okay.
Now, even though that statistic is probably true, what is also true is that we are groomed, raised, and brought up to not believe in police, black males. We are taught that police don't make anything better. But at the same time that the males are taught this, the females, based on what they see with their own two eyes and hear with their own two ears, realize at some point that they can weaponize police against black males. So now you have a guy who can have a woman that any white man, Spanish man, or Asian man would leave in a heartbeat, telling him, I'll call these people and they will do X, Y, and Z. All I gotta say is this. You understand? And he will actually be so afraid of them that he will go against himself and sit with a fucking insurgent. You know, and everybody loses, especially the child. But we don't call each other on things like this because, you know, what happens in the home stays in the home. Black people have a lot of thinking that we have to let go of and unlearn. And I'm still in the ghetto, so I'm speaking to you from the ghetto. You know what it's like? I heard a lady explaining. You ever hear that saying, honor your mother and father so your days on this earth will be long? Lot of old black moms and old black dads use that to make their children do what they wanted them to do, which may not necessarily been in the best interest of the child. Your mother drinks Colt 45 tall cans and shoot dice for a living. She ain't never had a job. But you gotta honor her so your days on earth will be long, or you're subject to the wrath of God. And we raise our children with these fallacies. You understand? We tell Alex Jones that we harm each other way more than we harm anybody else. Another thing that we need to talk about, maybe Alex Jones could speak about this, Indians are more racist than white people. They're the worst. You understand? And it's crazy because they're the worst because they know that they're not white, but they walk around like, at least I'm not black. And white people allow this. They're like substitute rednecks. and they're everywhere.
That's facts. That's facts.
I was happier when it was just hillbillies. You know, now I got the hillbilly, the redneck, the Indian, the Hindu,
the corporate,
the Chinaman, and they're everywhere.
Facts. Enemies on all fronts.
On all fronts, and in my bed.
And in your bed.
And in my bed. So forgive me if Billy Ray say something out of pocket, and I've been showing up to the best of my ability for 6 months, and I'm tired. And he get knocked upside his head because he's like, yo, word is born. Woo, 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 woo. And I just finished 4 years of college. You know, going home from college, trying to educate my lady into a healthier space in the presence of my children.
Preach, nigga, preach.
If I slam Clem, you know, on his neck after work, it doesn't mean that I set out to attack Clem. He just has to understand that I don't want to put up with his shenanigans. There's gatekeepers on all fronts, bro. Right. All fronts. We as black people got them too. They're necessary. None of this shit is good or bad, but I don't know what Alex Jones is talking about. His kids probably haven't seen black people outside of conventions. Because he's a multi-millionaire, and I know his neighborhood is not full of them. So he can't even say that he sees what he's talking about.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Like, that's it. In Michael Jordan's neighborhood, he's the only black man that anybody ever sees, if they see him.
Right.
One. We don't see them. I don't know what white boys he's talking about. The white people that are getting their asses kicked have been labeled Karens and Kevins. And they drive down the hill from up on the mountain, and they come into our neighborhoods, and they think that they know how to handle us because they've been watching TikTok and Instagram. You know? And they come down there, to fuck around a little bit, and then they find out a whole lot.
Mm.
And then what do they go back up the hill and call Alex Jones? For what? Why did you even come down here? We're shopping at C-Town. You passed Acme to come to C-Town to tell people what to do, and then got your ass handed to you. And now you driving back up to your dark neighborhood where you can sleep.
With your lumps on your head.
Yeah, but I mean, did we attack you? Did we attack you? Black people, especially black people that come from underserved communities, typically don't frequent any area where there aren't other black people.
True.
Tell Alex Jones talk about that.
Mm.
The all-white mall in his neighborhood, we're not driving to.
Mm.
You know where the white girls are getting their ass kicked at?
Where?
In Manhattan on Canal Street buying knockoff bags. You understand? That's where that happens.
So you saying they coming to our neighborhoods and getting their ass kicked? We're not going out to their neighborhoods to kick ass.
We're not.
Why are we not going to their neighborhoods? Are we afraid of their neighborhoods, or why are we staying with us and not going to them? Is there a reason for that, or is that just, something that is, or whatever?
I mean, it's what you're used to. We're human beings. Human beings are creatures of habit.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean that their neighborhoods are not for us. It just means that it's unfamiliar. It's the same way. It's like if you put somebody in the cars, they have 2 days off of work. You let them off a plane. You don't tell them where they're at, and you drop them off in North Dakota or Minnesota, Indiana, wherever you may drop them off.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to get back home.
Mm.
They're not going to go sightsee. They're not going to try to meet people and make friends. They're going to try and get back to where they're from.
Right.
You understand? White people leave where they're from because they fetishize us.
Mm.
They want to look at and fortify themselves up against the culture that is our reality, knowing that they can go back.
Mm.
Now, occasionally, they get their asses whooped before they go back because they're looking at TikTok and they're looking at Instagram, not realizing that most of that content is produced with a level of satire.
Mm.
We don't really talk to each other like that. You understand?
Right.
Yes, Tantabuka Raheem doesn't want to go to jail for bopping her upside her head. So she can make a reel talking crazy. But she's in that reel by herself. That's the part nobody talks about.
Mm.
You understand? If she was really talking to the street dude that she's attracted to in that way, in private, she would have to wait 2 or 3 weeks because her eye would be shut. and that's reality.
Yeah. So you're saying that the content we see from the black community, Instagram and TikTok, is satire and acting?
Yes.
Mm.
Absolutely. That's not real.
So Sexy Red's not real?
Sexy Red is a joke. And you know what? It's crazy because our children are not old enough to realize that shit is just entertainment.
Mm.
So Sexy Red is becoming real. You understand? Same way there's you know how they say there's like a masculine energy and a feminine energy?
Yeah.
Right? Sexy Red is toxic for our women.
Mm-hmm.
Agree?
Agree.
So is Albial for our males.
Mm. Mm.
He is Sexy Red, the male version.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want your son to be that. You don't want your uncle to be that. You don't want your father to be that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's glorified to send males to prison under the guise of being a real nigga, the same way that Sexy Red is supposed to be a bad bitch.
Mm. Mm.
Nobody wants that shit full time, but it looks fun. It might even make your dick hard.
Mm-hmm.
But could you actually peacefully sleep and move around through life with that?
Mm.
You can't. Nobody's gonna tell her that because it's monetized.
So
All of that.
So
that
the
shit is
thing is,
formulaic.
so the thing is, like, you know, they have now said that, you know, white people are being attacked by black people, and the reason they're being attacked is because of hip hop music and rap. So you agree with that, or you don't think? Because you said, you know, kind of like, you know, they come to our neighborhood, so they're not being attacked because of that, but hip hop is having an influence on the hood, and what we're seeing is not the hood; it's just the influence on the hood.
I think that Dr. Umar has a better chance of, you know, enticing somebody to strike a random white person than any rapper does.
Dr. Umar has a better chance of convincing somebody to strike a white person than a rapper does. Oh, what a bar. Oh my God.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
What rapper can convince our youth to hit a white person?
I don't know.
We had one rapper in my lifetime that had the ability to move people in that way, and that was Tupac Shakur. And everybody got hyped up and rallied up behind Tupac, looking for instruction, and he died. So now you have all of these excited black males believing in revolution and thug life with no instructions. So there's an army of lost niggas. That's what's out here.
That's
but you
deep.
think they listen? You think they listening to fucking Lil Uzi? You think Lil Uzi Vert is telling somebody to revolutionize? What rappers do we got? Travis Scott, he got a bunch of African babies. Kanye got a fucking a white lady. She built like a blow up doll. Her figure's nice, but she's walking around in a plastic bag. You understand? You can't even get plastic bags in New Jersey. They banned them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who is telling people to do these things? What rapper? What part of hip hop is saying, you know, power to the people and fight back? It's not there. It's not there. That's a lie. That's a lie. Alex Jones is lying to white people. And he just paid a bunch of money for running his dick suckers or his ass eaters, and it be a lie. Cost him millions. And you still lying? He don't want no money. He trying to come back to us broke. That's probably what he doing. He like, I'm going to tell these lies, and you know what? At the end of the day, niggas will accept me. You know? Maybe he trying to prove a point. You know? That would make sense. That would make sense. Have you ever seen in your life, coming from the neighborhoods that you've come from or lived in, which weren't as bad as the neighborhoods that I come from, but we know each other.
Right.
When have you seen black youth rise up against white youth?
I've never seen it.
Or anybody white?
I've never seen it.
People don't like to tell the truth. Let me tell you the truth. You can take any 35 to 40-year-old white male, drop him off in any ghetto in America, and as long as his clothes is clean, he has a clean haircut, and he presents himself well, if he pulls out a flashlight and flashes it at a group of black guys, it will scare them. And that's the truth. So before you talk about people getting beat up, talk about why that's true. Why is 6 teenage black males afraid of a middle-aged white man with a flashlight?
What if he come down there, the white man got on Jordans and some jeans?
They're gonna think he's a detective. They're gonna think he's undercover. That's all it takes. And I've seen it. I've tried this and tested it. You get a clean white boy that's not a drug addict, have him approach a group of young black males in the ghetto. I'm talking about in the hood of hoods where there's no white people at. and that white man flashes a flashlight when he approaches them, they're gonna be afraid. 2 of them might run.
Facts.
That's where we live at.
Facts. Facts.
So how are they getting beat up? They're getting beat up because they're trying to come in our clubs, come in our bars, come in the stores that we go to that the fucking Indians and the Chinese people own anyway. And they're trying to speak our language because they think they learned it or they got it from TikTok and Instagram, and they end up offending somebody and they get trashed.
Now, what about, they're saying it's happening in their schools. Their kids are being targeted. White boy goes to a black school and he says he's being targeted because of his skin color.
Really? Who believes that?
This is the biggest trend on Republican Twitter right now.
It's a lie. Because let me tell you, I have went to all black schools in the ghettos of New Jersey, Newark, Irvington, East Orange, Patterson. I've went to all black schools. And you know what the lone white boy ends up doing? Gangbanging. You understand? He has on more red or more blue than the niggas. He's carrying the boombox because he feels untouchable. Or he wants to prove that he's like us. They be worse than us.
True.
Bump into a Irish fucking born and raised in the ghetto male that's been getting in trouble since he was 12. You understand? He's worse than us.
Like Tommy from Power.
Like Tommy from Power.
Facts.
You understand? But at least Tommy halfway dresses neat because he's getting real money.
Right.
You understand? The white boys I see that's like Tommy from Power are broke. They got fucking bandanas hanging out their pocket and they're blasting music. Bunch of chains and shit like that. You understand? Nobody's beating them up. You know what the white boy looks like that comes into the ghetto, that takes a few ass whoopings but stays? He ends up Millsy. He's a rapper. That's what the white boy that hangs out with us looks like.
So it's like a form of initiation, but don't black people go through the same initiation?
Yeah. It's the same way that Raheem becomes, Chuck at work. He doesn't want to use his real name. And he is hard on everything, using a microscope. He doesn't want anybody from where he's from to catch up to him or pass him. Because this is where his power lies.
Right.
Nobody's different, bro. We're all people. Everybody does the same shit. We're just starting at a disadvantage. You understand? So forgive me, Alex, for not caring about, 7 or 8 white boys getting, beat up in a middle school in fucking Nashville, Tennessee, or Little Rock, Arkansas. Ask Alex what happened to the black boys and girls when they actually integrated schools.
They got the asses whooped.
Yeah. And it wasn't televised. Nobody was on the radio capping for them.
Nope.
They was hitting Martin Luther King in the head with rocks. They was hosing people, setting fucking crosses on fire on their lawn, burning their books. This is what was happening.
And now little Johnny can't take a little ass whooping.
Yeah, because somebody knocked his books out his hand. It's so bad for them. I'm about to show my age. When I was in elementary school, right? It was a commercial showing a little black boy jumping gates to go home from school. You understand? Because his neighborhood was so bad. Then the voice comes. This is for Kevin Scott and all the other kids who had to take the long way home.
I remember that commercial.
Tell Alex make a commercial.
I remember.
For the white boy that had to take the long way home. Because we've been taking it for 40 years.
I remember that commercial.
Yeah, like get out of here.
Damn. I remember that commercial.
Yes, that's our experience. And nobody was on the radio saying we don't need Kevin Scott to get beat up. You know, he got a commercial. He got his ass kicked. He joined the army.
Right.
You know, and the women in his neighborhood don't want to date him because they want the people that he was hopping gates to get away from.
I mean,
until she's 35 with 2 kids and both of their daddies is in jail, and now she wants Kevin. Because he's dropping, he's not walking or hopping gates.
Right. You know, it's just that right now online, they're pulling up all these statistics and saying that white people are disproportionately attacked by black people. And I'm just like, wow, this is what y'all crying about in 2024, the election year, as we get ready for Trump.
Where though? Like where are these attacks happening?
I don't know. Somewhere in America. They're showing nationwide statistics. And the thing is, when you show nationwide statistics, you ask a very good question. Where, right? Is this Little Rock, Arkansas? Yeah, you gonna get your ass. Everybody get their ass whooped in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
So then when you take statistics from Little Rock, Arkansas, and apply it to the whole nation, you're skewing the numbers.
Yeah, and that statistic, I would say that the statistic is invalid because it doesn't really show the why. So you'll say, you'll take 10 white boys. One will be from white boys and girls. We'll use both sexes. One will be from Parsippany. You'll have one from Bridgewater. You'll have one from Flemington. You'll have one from Cherry Hill. And they all go into Brooklyn in some random neighborhood, and they all get beat up or robbed. Right? That's the statistic.
Right.
Right? What the statistic doesn't show is that all 10 of them are drug addicts. And they're going into the worst neighborhood to try to make friends and buy drugs. And they're doing this as an outsider in a high crime area. And that's how that statistic happens. You understand?
Bob get off of work. He want to go get some blow. He going to the hood.
He going to the hood. So the guy, the clean cut white guy that might go into this neighborhood, or the clean cut white woman, she's not even going into this neighborhood. You understand? You have to be there for that to happen to you. And so why are you there? Because you're in a neighborhood that I don't even want to park my car in if I don't have a club.
If I don't want to be there, your ass shouldn't want to be there.
Yeah, I don't want to be there. So why are you there? You understand? And the problem is we have an opioid crisis. You understand? And marijuana is almost hard drugs these days. You know, you don't just have to smoke it. You can fucking eat it. There's gummies, cookies, brownies on top of smoking.
Right.
You understand? And they're taking painkillers. And sometimes it escalates to heroin. You understand? And these are the white people that are in our neighborhoods, and they're in our neighborhoods for drugs. But they're in high crime neighborhoods. And a crime happens to them. You're a target, though. Of course a crime is going to happen to you. You're a target. You understand? If you drop, if you have, let's say, I don't know, a golden retriever, right? And you turn them loose into an area that is ruled by 2 different packs of wolves. Are the wolves bad?
He in the wrong spot.
The golden retriever don't have no fucking business there, man.
Correct. It's out group versus in group.
Yes.
Correct.
Y'all aren't being targeted. You're out of place.
In the wrong spot.
You're out of place. What is little Anthony from Cherry Hill, New Jersey doing in Canarsie? Why is he there?
Do you have any last words 'cause I'm finished taking some phone calls here. Do you have any last words or message you want to give to the white folks listening? I think they're being targeted by by black kids. Do you have any message for Alex Jones and his constituents? Anything, or any white people that believe that black people are targeting them? Any last parting words?
It will take courageous trust to fix the problem. Courageous trust amongst your own individual ethnic group, and courageous trust in us. And you have to be honest, don't just read the statistic, explain what type of people is being counted in this statistic. Are they drug addicts? Are they criminals? Where are they at? Because I can't really see any crime happening to just random white people outside of Walmart.
Right.
And last I checked, we don't own Walmart.
Big facts.
That's all I got. What platform are you on?
YouTube and Rumble.
All right, I'm gonna check you out, man. Everybody have a good night. B, don't be a stranger, man. Hit me up.
All right, say less. Yo, March 9th, we out here. I'm gonna send you the ticket link.
Bet.
All right. I'm gonna have them come to the Grifties. Oops. There it is. My insight into the hood. There it is. We don't get Goldstein in here. It's Hotep Thursday. We're gonna be live tonight, 8 p.m. Did y'all hear it? That's just unadulterated truth right there. I seen some people didn't like it. Somebody in chat was like, what did this guy say? Phone call after open up a lot of eyes in a negative way. What did he say? Hold on.
Call from
Murphy's Law Rest.
He says here, keep on pushing the divide whether you claim otherwise or not. See, the truth to these people sounds like being divisive, but the lie doesn't. Crazy. Goldstein, what's up, man?
What's happening?
What's good with it, man? How you doing, man? What you got for us today?
Well, Omi covered it as far as the whole race shit.
Mm-hmm.
People on that side of the aisle, like I said the other day, they understand the principle of not blaming the gun when it comes to guns. They tell liberals all the time, you can't blame the gun. You got to blame the person who holds the gun.
Correct.
But when it comes to this shit, they want to blame the gun. Like, knock it off already. Stop it. But I don't know, man. I just don't see any real fix in that. Owen said it himself when he was talking to you. He said, we do got to focus on the symptoms. Why?
Yeah.
In what realm does that ever contribute to the cure? It never does. So I don't see why all of a sudden it has to be here. It's all emotionally motivated. And I get it, because when I was sitting on the yard, I'm watching that dude in Dallas, just randomly start Jason Bourne and cops. And I'm thinking that's what I'm getting out to. So my mind started to trend in that direction until someone talked me off that ledge, who was living out here, and you know what I mean? So I get it. It's very easy to be swayed by what you see on the news, what you see on the internet. It's just you gotta set your emotions aside just because it's a white face getting beat on right there. Because in every other instance, when it comes to the news and the media and what you see on the internet, what you see here and what you see there, every other instance, you be on point talking about this is some bullshit. Don't trust it.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, you just want to trust this, like explicitly.
I seen them passing around CNN stats today. I'm like, oh, y'all fuck with CNN now.
All of a sudden. You can't let your emotions cloud your judgment. So, I mean, as long as you're going to let that happen, not only is it not a good idea, but it's a very good likelihood that the person you've seen getting beat up did the same shit. And as a result, he's getting his ass beat physically. You're getting your ass beat emotionally and mentally. Stop taking L's. That's pretty much it on that. But my real reason for calling today was that bullshit earlier.
What's that?
Listen, you and I both know that it's a bad idea, and you have preached this yourself on a number of different occasions, that it is a bad idea for a man to make a hoe a housewife.
That's correct.
You said it yourself that there's a list of things that if a woman does, you probably shouldn't be fucking with her.
Correct.
Like what? Not folding the pants and all that you said earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm here to tell you that the equivalent of that broad for a man, right? The man who looks for that broad, the man who looks for the porn star, I want to marry her because she's a porn star. I want to marry her because, man, that's the same as a woman who looks for a man because he's a convict. They are the same exact entity. They're basing significant life decisions on impulse, and that's never a good idea. But I will say this: that is not the norm. That is the exception to the norm. Like all those internet ass whoopings.
Right.
So when a woman does pick an individual who is a convict, 9 times out of 10, they are doing it for that reason, for what you laid out, impulsive. But when a woman picks a man who was a convict and sticks with that man, it was because of a number of other things outside of being that convict.
Oh, absolutely. If you staying, you're not staying because he's an ex-con. No.
Right, because my old lady, she says that the one thing women want more than anything else, and I know this to be the truth, is security.
Correct.
Stability and security.
Correct.
And you're not going to get that too often with a motherfucker who was an inmate. But the thing that drove a woman to that inmate, the alpha male thing that you talked about, women who are worth keeping around will typically just find that same thing in a military man, in a firefighter,
correct,
in the this and the
police
that, because
officer.
they offer something else.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, if a broad is saying, I want to fuck with this dude because he's an inmate, because he's in jail, because he's a convict, and I like that, that is not the broad you want. She's the same as the bitch who's not going to fold the pants, and she's the same as the dude who picks a broad because she was a porn star, because she's going to give it up.
That's facts.
It's all impulsive. That's what I would like to say about that.
I love it. The one thing I'll add is, you said the woman wants security, right? Sometimes his, being a convict is confused as a certain type of security, such as protection, right? Being able to protect me from danger. So that's another piece of the security that comes along with the ex-con, or at least perceived.
Yeah. If she equates that as a plus, like, oh, he was an ex-con, so he's going to be a security for me, or some type of stability for me because he can whoop a little ass or any of that shit. That bitch is sexy red. She's sexy red. She's not worth fucking with in the first place. So I would suggest, if you're a dude who got out and this woman is with you for all those reasons, run. Get the hell out of there ASAP. Because that's no different than dating a porn star. She's led by nothing but impulse, and that's not the type of broad you want as a wife.
Word. Great words, wise words, man. Let me get Strong Dad in here.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Hotep and Bill. Let's get Strong Dad in here. Let's see what Strong Dad got to add to the conversation today. She don't care about the future, only the moment. Yeah. Microwave desires. K, does Owen play hopscotch because he was skipping past a lot of your questions? Thank you for the super. Aunt Bailey, he said, all he got to do is watch Remember the Titans. Damn, what happened in Remember the Titans? Wait. I ain't seen Remember the Titans since at least 20 years. Wasn't that Denzel?
Call from
Strong Dad.
Strong Dad, what's happening, man?
What's up?
What's good with him, yo?
First of all, shout out to Goldstein for the calm rebuttal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I rock everything Goldstein said, 100.
Okay.
I'm going to add to that. I want to add to that.
Okay.
So, we talked about, spending some time in prison or some time in jail and how, that changed your mentality and how something like that could do that. And I agree. Somebody else in the chat, they also said, I met my first wife or something like that after I got out of jail, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are, and that person and anyone else who gathers any worthwhile philosophy from jail are an anomaly. And if you don't capitalize on that, then it's a gift you lose. But you are an anomaly because jail is not a place where you find these philosophies. An ex-con and a dude who's been to jail, we are two different people because prison is not the same. When you go to jail is a gladiator school. And you don't know how long you're going to be there. Nobody knows. Some people do, but for the most part, you're unsure. You do know one thing, though. Whatever your case is, you may or may not go to prison. And those who figure out if they're going to prison are either real niggas and know how to handle that or are scared niggas and start becoming violent because you got to have the name by the time you make it there.
Yeah.
These are the people, right? They are the ones who perpetuate the majority of the violence because the dudes who are going to prison know that you're going to be living long term with some of these people. And vendettas carry, and prison is a small world. If you go to prison on the other side of the state here in Colorado, the stories of you reach the other side. The stories of you reach other yards because people get transferred. So people set out to make a name for themselves who are scared when they're in prison. It's essentially a gladiator school. It's where you go to lick your chops. And so people like yourself, you understand what these things will evolve into. That's why you gather something from it. That's why you're an anomaly. Most people won't gather that. And that's why the people in jail are usually repeat offenders. They're always in jail. And a person who typically says, I've been in and out of jail a bunch of times has also never been to prison because prison is the next step. Once you get there, DOC owns you.
Right.
If you go into jail in and out of, then your parole getting revoked, you're doing turnaround. At least here in this state, you're doing, a 180-day turnaround back in prison. You come back. You might go to a week yard, but you come back. Right. What I'm saying is that when you are in prison, you have to encounter politics. And it's not just, gang politics. This is the politics of men when you strip everything from them and give them nothing.
Right.
And everything that they earn, everything that they get, they have to earn it. Everything they have to fight for it. Respect included, peace included. The dude that nobody fucks with had to get that peace. Sometimes it was a hard road, or other times it was his impressive stature as a man himself. But regardless, in there, you have to employ philosophies in order to maintain the peace, because it's not about violence. It's not even about the threat of violence. It's about preventing violence. It's about keeping things at a minimum. It's like the UN. When countries sit to the table to prevent war, this is your every day you wake up, this is what you have to do. If somebody bumps into you and it's not a big deal, you have to make a choice right there as a man. Do I hold this or do I not? Does he say excuse me? Or does he? And these things have deeper consequences than on the street. And so, and in prison, they just lead to violence. You know, I saw a dude get messed up, almost lose his life over half of a soup packet from a ramen. That was the first time I saw something senseless happen in jail. And to me, I was like, man, if I got out of here, yes, it's going to change me. But going to prison, it's a different animal. And so, to bring all that back, what Goldstein said, not only is he 100% correct, but I will also add this. When all of that superficial stuff that attracts a woman to a felon, like the sense of security and all these things you mentioned, those things fall in a relationship. They disappear. And there's a void left. And what determines the success of the thing that we're talking about, right? We're talking about what women will do, right? What determines that success is what's left. And if you've been in prison and you did it the right way, you have something left when all of that attraction is gone, especially if you hit hard times. And that's the component right there. It's not because you're a felon. It's because of the philosophies that come from that, and she doesn't even know that's where you got them. She assumes you're going to protect her, but the things that really attract her in the long term are things she'll never understand that you gathered from prison. And that's the component that I point to when I disagree to a point with what you're saying, because there's a lot of validity in what you said. I even said in the chat, I want to argue some of this, but I can't. So instead of necessarily arguing it, I will expand upon it and say, you know, you're almost there, but this is the last component.
Right.
And then I'll land my plane.
Nah, wise words. Appreciate you, man. Let me get Rudy in here.
What's up, Bill?
What's up, Bill? Make my rounds. Get all we got ex-con number 3. Let's get them all in here. Pause. Robert said, I'm not convinced that prison should exist. I'm with you. I am with you. I've been designing in my head another type of system. Not complete and fully thought out yet. I need some help. I need some more minds, but I have a very interesting way of dealing with what they call criminals. Because I don't think they're criminals. I don't think they're always criminals. I think there's ways to rehab them.
Call from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother, man? Great show today, man. All kinds of.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I love when you call that dude from the street, man. That dude sounds like my first real heavyweight week connect, man.
Oh, yeah?
Drops all kinds of knowledge, dude. I used to sit there, my boy Dwight, man. I used to sit there for hours and just listen to him preach, man. Yeah, that dude's sharp, man. That dude's sharp. So I grew up in Newton, New Jersey, man, a little lily white town up in Sussex County, man, right up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I moved down to Virginia when I was 10 into the inner city, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and that's the same thing I tell my stepson. You know, even though we live in rural North Carolina now, dude, you just punch somebody in the fucking mouth, man. Win or lose. Win or lose, dude. Win or lose. Like, when I first got the Booker T. Washington my first freshman year, like, the first month in, man, like, I'd watch, like, we had 2 sets of white folks, man. We had, like, what you would call wiggers, like we listened to hip-hop, wore Nikes, you know what I'm saying, played sports. And then they would call grits. You know, those were the heavy metal kids with the Iron Maiden jackets, even though I like heavy metal, but these kids were just living it, right? The emo kids.
Yeah, the emo kids, yeah.
Right. And you could sit back and watch the emo kids just get fucked with. And they would fuck with us. They would fuck with us at first, right? These kids, like, I mean, I'm bust out of a 50-50 neighborhood into downtown Norfolk, man. So these kids are all coming out of Tidewater Park, Roberts Park. They're coming out of projects, right? And the first time it got to the point where I had to throw blows, and yeah, I took the loss, but I threw my fucking hands, and I never had another fight again in high school. I had some fights out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I got jumped a few times in the streets. But yeah, when you're like your boy was saying, when you're the out group, just throw your fucking hands one time. It's the same way with prison, man. The same way with prison, man.
Yep.
I went to a low level camp, couldn't take it, man. Bucked on that camp, ran up my time to go to a high level camp because them low level camps, there's no respect for sleep, there's no respect for anything. You got all these short timers getting ready to come home, talking to each other any kind of way, hopping the lunch line. I was like, man, fuck, I had just hit that camp. I got a marijuana charge. I'm like, dog, I'm not sitting here for fucking 10 years. You're out of your fucking mind. So I ran my time up, man. I got inciting a riot and ran my fucking time up to go up to a high-level camp. Got to the high-level camp, you know, didn't look to start shit, but the first time it came, I threw my fucking hands, man. And I never had an issue again while I was locked up. Only had to fucking throw hands one more time. And that was more mutual combat than a motherfucker trying me. You know what I'm saying? That was mutual combat. So that's what you get. These see these videos, man, of these kids, and they're probably their parents. Throw your fucking hands, man. Defend yourself, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to just defending yourself? You might take the ass whooping, but the minute you defend yourself, they're gonna like, man, the bully is looking for a mark.
Correct.
Like in prison, the bully is looking for a mark.
Yeah.
They're looking for the guy they can roll up and be like, yo, give me that fucking commissary bag. They're not looking for the guy who's going to fucking fight you for that commissary bag. Win or lose, they don't want to fuck with that dude, man.
Right.
And that shit is not about race. It's about bullying, man. It's about stand up to the fucking bully, man. And it's been around since history. And like, I respect Owen for coming on. I love Owen, man. I love Infowars. But you should have told him straight up that this whole fucking anti-white agenda is being pushed by whites. You know what I'm saying? Like blaming the CIA, blaming the FBI, you know, blaming the Fed. That's where all of our problems stem from.
Well, I said that. I said it would be unfair if I said the CIA is all white people.
Right, no, but the thing about it is, HJ, this, we're colonizers, anti-white shit, it's coming from university, brother.
Correct.
And these kids graduate university and go into those institutions.
Right.
That shit comes out of the education system by fucking white professors who are paid off of guaranteed student loans from the taxpayers and have been robbing us for fucking years, man. And it comes out of the education system, man. You know what I'm saying? It's whites pushing the shit on whites, man.
Yep.
You know, that's the only thing I wish you would have hit him with that, man. Otherwise, man, you know,
it was a good segment,
like
though, right?
It was fucking great because Owen came on as listener, man. And maybe he'll go back to Alex and be like, yo, get on fucking message, man.
Yeah.
The same way with Kirk. You know, I ain't never been the biggest fan of Charlie Kirk, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's a pansy, man. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them whites that never been punched in the face.
Yeah.
But Charlie Kirk, when Turning Point USA came and first started, and when Candace, I mean, they were out there just shooting a right-wing message, right? But now they're so fucking hung up on this fucking race shit that they've destroyed any credibility they might have fucking had. The same way with Shapiro, man. Dude ain't never been punched in the face, man. You know what I'm saying? And if he's been punched in the face, he always talks about I was bullied. You know, he was bullied by other Jews, man. He ain't never been fucking right. He ain't never had to fucking deal with the melting pot of American fucking society.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the boy went to Jew school and hung out with Jews, and if he got bullied by his own fucking people. He got bullied by his own fucking people. The same way the fucking up there in Newton, New Jersey, man, I had an uncle, man, who was a fucking rough motherfucker. And he always used to slap the shit out of me and kick my ass. All right? And I respect him for that. Because he would always tell me, man, win or lose, fight back, man. Don't fucking lay there and take it. Fight back, man.
Right.
And if you could just instill some fucking basic manhood, man, into fucking these kids these days, man. Because I whip the shit. I mean, I whoop my stepson. I go home and I slap the shit out of him. And I love him, but I always get him, put your fucking hands up. Punch him in the stomach. Put your fucking hands up. fight back. And then I get him red in the face sometimes, and he starts wailing on me. But I know when I get him red in the face and he starts wailing on me, then one of these days he's going to kirk out on a fucking bully in school, man. If a kid starts bullying him, he's going to get red in the face and kirk out on that bully, and that'll be the last fucking time he's got to worry about being fucking bullied, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got to raise men again, man. We got to raise men again, man.
Big facts.
But you know, that's all I got to say, man. I mean, I'm with you, bro. This shit, it's shit's stupid. We got a chance to unite, man. And I can understand the awful fucking Charlie Kirk and Jack Posobiec and Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles and all of them motherfuckers, because they ain't never been punched in the goddamn face. But Alex, I got Alex being punched in the face. And Owen, growing up in St. Louis, I know for a fact he's been punched in the fucking face.
Yeah.
So we need the guys who've been punched in the face to get off of this bullshit and get back on message, man. That's all I gotta say. See y'all at the Grifties, and I'm bringing that fire, man. Hotep and Bill. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Ohio Tep, call in. Nah, he right. Alex Jones probably got punched in the face before. Owen Shroyer probably got punched in the face before. Charlie Kirk, I don't think so. Ben Shapiro, I don't think so. Congressional Democrats and President Biden passed a law that lets the IRS target Americans who use apps like Venmo and PayPal to buy. The IRS unilaterally delayed this terrible law yet again. This time in an election year, the IRS should not be used to shield Democrats from facing the consequences of their own policy. Yo, that shit's crazy, yo. They definitely want to snoop on your PayPal and your Venmo. Shout out to crypto. They still can't touch that. They still can't touch my crypto. Yo, if more people transacted in crypto, the IRS couldn't do shit. Literally couldn't do shit. That's why when people ask me how I want to get paid, I'd be like, do you have Bitcoin? Because I don't have to pay taxes on Bitcoin. Taxes are paid in United States dollars. If you pay me in Bitcoin, as long as I never cash that shit out in fucking USD, I ain't got to pay taxes on that shit. It's Bitcoin. It's not dollars. I didn't make any money. Somebody gave me Bitcoin. Let me know when the IRS accepts Bitcoin.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
What's going on in my mentions? What's he laughing about? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. R.I.P. this cat right here. Salute to McAfee. R.I.P. a real one. I'm still holding out, hoping, he's still alive. Like, I'm still hoping Tupac is still alive. I still can't believe McAfee's gone. I refuse to believe that. I feel like he's just going to pop up out of nowhere at some point and say, hey, y'all, I did it again. I faked my death again. But I guess that's just hopeful thinking. Fannie Willis. Uh-oh, what's going on with Fannie? She looked like she got fed up.
It is a lie. It is a lie.
All right, Ms. Willis. Mr. Saino, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes. We'll be back in 5.
Owen says,
May I go to the bathroom?
Owen says, not sure the legal outcome of all this, but one thing is certain, Fannie Willis has shown what an absolute embarrassment she is. While it's embarrassing for the country as well, it is good seeing this in the nature of those persecuting Trump. Yeah, that's true, Bryson. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the Fannie Willis shit. My issue with the Fannie Willis shit is all these politicians do the same shit. And they trying to come down on her. But, if she's guilty, she got to do her time like everybody else. But I think this is just retaliation. And I think my hunch is this is a waste of taxpayer money. That's my hunch. My hunch is this is a waste of taxpayer money. Just like it was a witch hunt with Trump, I think it's a witch hunt with Fannie Willis. Do I think she spent more than she should have? Absolutely. Do I think all the politicians spend more than they should? Absolutely. So I don't know. And that's why I'm not keeping up with the Fannie Willis shit. I'm not trying to put no energy into it because I just view it as a waste of taxpayer money. And if she's guilty, then let her do her thing. Let her get oh shit. Well, yeah, I think he's right. They definitely gonna vote blue. I mean, them boomers is. Tar, you gonna call in, man? Nero, call in. Then I'm gonna get out of here. Get my mind right for tonight's show. We back tonight. Hotep's been told you, Uncle Hotep. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. I'm sure most of you have already subscribed. I lost 97 followers in the past 28 days. So, or subscribers or whatever YouTube calls it. Something told me to check today. And I'll show you. That shit was baffling to me. Look, watch this. Let's go YouTube. YouTube Studio. Let's go. All right, so this is my back end right here, right? You see I got that warning on my channel, right? Look right there. You see that?
Call from.
You see that right there? Minus 96 in the last 28 days. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's like dead accounts or something. I don't know. But I have not grown on YouTube. I lost 96 followers in the last 28 days. How wild is that? Nero, what up, bro?
What's cracking?
What's good with him,
How
yo?
you doing?
Life is good. You know,
happening?
maintaining, just a black man in America trying to stay black.
Yes, sir, man. Everybody, look, man. Shout out to all the white people who had to grow up black. Because being white, first of all, you unadvanced as it is. So having to catch up like that, only the real ones can do it. Man. And that's why only certain ones get accepted into those situations. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Lord. Go ahead, talk your black supremacist shit.
Because especially if you black like me, I got white kids everywhere. You know, like all them guardian angel movies in the 90s, like that's a real thing. Like they was telling you.
Oh Lord, you ain't shit.
Because every real white nigga got a guardian angel black person somewhere in the background. Or a couple of them.
That's
you know
real shit.
It is real shit, because you know what I'm saying? We're not racist. We're accepting of people.
Ain't that the truth?
You know what I'm saying? At the basis of just who we are, you know.
And every black man got a Jew. Every black man got a Jew angel.
Everyone. Shoot, I went to a Jewish Montessori school. They taught me about, you know, I was speaking Yiddish and all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it taught me that, you know what I'm saying? Just because you got money, that don't mean shit. The world sucks. Not just being black, not just being white, not just, you know what I'm saying? This shit is just ridiculous as a whole.
Yep, big facts.
It's good to have that perspective, you know what I'm saying? Just to stop emotionally being involved in this shit and get into your own stuff and not being led by these motherfuckers. It's dangerous out here. But you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my white people. Hotep and Bill. I got shit to do.
Appreciate you.
Have a good one, man.
Hotep and Bill. Shout out to Nero on the check-in. Goldstein's on the timeline wreaking havoc. I like this response. This is a great response. Because Anthony Cumia, he said, hello, can we at the very least talk openly and honestly about the problem of black violent crime in America? It's way overdue. And then Nick says it's the biggest problem in this country and constantly gets swept under the rug. And Goldstein says, Nick, the biggest problem in this country, CIA. And he got the Biden eyes, just like we drew it up.
Oh, this a real Hotep.
That's great work, Goldstein. Goldstein, a timeline mercenary. That's great work. I like that. I like how Goldstein handles himself on a timeline. Yeah. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Hope that's been told you. Make sure you taking your supplements. Make sure you get your flow. You see it on the screen right there. Make sure you get your Apex. See it right there. My shit, this bottle getting a little bit low. We almost halfway done with this one. No, it's about 2/3 of the way now, or 1/3 of the way down. 1/3 used. Feeling great. Feeling energized. Hitting the gym daily. It's good stuff. Use that coupon code. Use the coupon code in the link in the description box below. Go get you a subscription to menoforder.com. If you get both, email me and I'll give you a bundle package price. I'll reduce your fee. Just email us. After you get your confirmation email, you get the email address, and then just send us an email. And I'll take care of your request to manage your bundle fee. If you watch the Grift Report, and you did not get take advantage of the sale and you want me to adjust your fee, or if you watch the Grift Report and you just want me to take some money off of your subscription, email us. I'm the one that checks all the email. I am customer service. I'm the CEO, so I deal with our customers directly. I will not outsource customer support, not at the early stage in our company. So you'll be talking to me and I'll knock something off your monthly rate. So holla at me and we'll take care of you. All right. Shout out to Siscoin, the Medici family behind Hotep Jesus. Appreciate you. We got big things happening. We had some great discussions this morning. Some people were a bit needed some education in regard to investing. So we had a great back and forth this morning talking 401ks and stock investments and dollar cost average and taxes. So if you want that big brain talk, that money talk, we're not talking politics. I had to warn somebody today. He posted like some sort of doomsday story. I'm like, yo, this ain't Twitter. We not doing that in here. In here, we talk money, and that's it. So that link is in the description box below. That's the Telegram group. Hit that link. You know what I mean? And join the Telegram. And then when the DApp is ready, decentralized app, we'll make sure you're notified so we can start building the financial center of Hotepistan. With all that being said, man, I appreciate y'all, man. You guys were talking about Remember the Titans. Now, yeah, you guys jog my memory. Yeah, it was a segregationist movie. I forgot about that. Rumble, as usual, ain't sending a nigga no money. It's all good. I still love you, Rumble. I still love y'all. I'll see y'all tonight, man, 8 p.m. Hotep's been told you. I'm out of here. Hotep and built.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan,